Welcome, welcome, everybody. How's it going today? Oh, well, let's hopefully get some people online first. I hope everybody got notifications. Okay, I see some in the stream number. Don't see any in the comments yet. Comment. Just kidding. All right, today we're going to go over Nicole Earl, who is one of the 7 gatherers. And I did some more digging into Nicole Earl and Christina Atwood, and I'll show you a few things. I think I showed y'all the women of Chandler, right? But I'm just going to go over it again. This is, of course, Women of Chandler, and this is none other. And I was mixing them up. I thought that Nicole Earl was Christina Atwood, and Christina Atwood looks like Nicole. You know what I mean? So the one on the right? Let me see if that's the way it's showing. Yeah. The one on your right, if you're facing this, is Christina Atwood. I thought it was up. I thought she don't look like a Nicole. I mean, a Christina. The other one looks like a Christina. So I was totally confused. Glad we got that all straight, right? Hi, Cindy. How are you? Hey, Donna. And Nights with Ping. What's up? How are you doing down under? Yeah, I'm sure I was gonna say some other awkward stuff, but I'm sure you've heard it. You know. Hey, Fancy Nancy. How are you? I was just thinking, I was like, where is she at? Glad you're here. And Angela, my friend from Canada, I do believe, right? Y'all don't be afraid to, correct me because I'm wrong a lot. A lot. You're usually late, me too. So how's that? Hey, baby girl. And Nights with Pink says, good, good. Thought I'd just check in on you. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Uh, a little nerved up, in anticipation for this hooker's trial. And, I mean, it just really sucks that we even have to go through this again. Again, this is the 3rd April in a row. And my birthday always falls. My birthday's in May, the very first part of May. And I'm always having to do law stuff with this lady. So, other than that, everything's fine, and thank you for checking in on us. I really do appreciate you for that. If there's anything I can ever do, you just let me know. Okay? Hey, NF Mom and Marshall Dove. Hi, back. And you're here in Texas. I thought you said Sweet Texas. Anyways, that too, huh? And then Trace on the case. What's up? What's up? Right. Well, thank y'all for being here. We're just going to go into more of these 7 gatherers. Hey, Joe Smo, Schmo, Joe Smo, Joe Smo, right? It's going to be a fun live. I can tell already. And I hate my hair. So let's just write that down in your notes. Okay. Cresha hates her hair. Anyways, it does whatever it wants. Anywho. Lori has been sucking the fun out of spring for a few years now. Hooker. Yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Nice what Ping says. Likewise, anything is never a problem to help you. Have a great show. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Heather Feather, last night was fun. What'd you do last night? Where'd you go? I have to check my inbox. Kidding. Oh man. We have just had our first capital M in almost 30 years in our county. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Mm, my heart goes out to the family for sure, and friends and people who loved that person or them or that's crazy, NF Mom. Oh, thank you, Fancy Nancy. When does Loho's trial start? Never worry. No, it starts March 31st. They start doing jury selection, allegedly, right? So, jury selection, March 31st. I'll be there with bells on and some holy water. Sprinkle it on her and just see how she reacts. She'll be like, "I'm melting, I'm melting." No. Oh my god, that's so sad, and if mom, 2 teenage kids did it. Oh, that is just terrible because it's an ending of a life, that no one has a right to take, and it also is an ending in a big sense for their lives if they're found guilty, if and when they're found guilty, That's just the sad. It's a waste. It's senseless. It is the most senseless crime on the planet, in my opinion. Just really is. Oh, Donna is expecting snow. Wow, girl, it was so nice whenever it did snow here. It was different. I was just like, I don't know how to explain it. And I know I'm getting way too deep in this stuff, right? But I'm from Southwest Louisiana and it just doesn't snow. If it does snow, it doesn't stick. If it does snow, it just does it for like an hour. My phone straight said blizzard. I was like, no. I mean, you sure? Swipe down, let it refresh. And I was like, What? What?" Blizzard. I was like, "This is nuts. The only time I get blizzards around here is if I go right there to Dairy Queen or Sonic. Sonic, not Dairy Queen. I don't think. Yeah. Anyways, that's how often it snows here. Hey, I'm a Taurus too. So, what? Right? Tammy was a Taurus as well. Chad Daybell Googled that, remember? Yeah, her would have been the day after mine. So one year, y'all, it was 2021 and the indictments had just come down. I've told the story time and time again, but it was I don't know. It was like the weight of the world. I had the psychic over here just talking mad shit about my mom. And then I was just like, what? But then I had talked to the psychic in the very beginning. I know, hey, you'll do anything when kids are missing. I didn't know. I will do anything. And plus, one of Joe Ryan's cousins did it, and so I did it too. They asked me to. And anyways, but I had that going on, and then we had the Awen Reese and Hidden True Crime and Lori Hellis thing kinda taking place, and I was like, "What? What? What's going on here?" And then on top of that, then the indictments came down, then Lori all at the same time, boom, boom, boom. And then Lori was found incompetent, and I was like, "Oh, crap." And then it was my birthday, Tammy's birthday, and then JJ's birthday, May 25th, so it was nuts. It was nuts. But that one time, and I'm just being honest, just being real, I felt so guilty for having lived, for living, for breathing, and I was just like, "God, I just wanna, like, disappear," you know? And I mean, anyways, it was just a really hard, heavy time, and it's never easy. I'll tell you that, I'll laugh through a lot of things, and I'll joke and joke and joke, but that's just my way of coping, dealing with it, and just trying to get through it. It's difficult. Difficult research is the channel name. And if y'all will please like the video, let's catch the algorithm gods, okay? I'm tired of being punished. Mm. All right. Some other stuff I don't need to drink, but anyways, I do appreciate you guys for being here. And enough about all of that. Hey, Zero, what's up? YB, it's called geoengineering, right? The weather manipulation, spraying the skies with chemicals. Wake up, people. I know. Look, I never cared about anything really. I mean, I tuned out the news because I'm an empath and because I have a severe anxiety disorder amongst ADHD and all the other things that went undiagnosed for, until I was in my late 20s. And I mean, I tried to stay away from the news because it was so heavy. It was so heavy, and because I didn't understand it, the world around me, I would just avoid it. I was one of those people. Um, which, I don't suggest that to anybody. I don't advise that for anybody. Wake up. It's okay to wake up. In fact, you tend to feel less anxiety and things about life and around you whenever you are more aware. when you school yourself on some things, and that way you don't have to be like, "Oh, I don't know." You know? Yeah, Tammy's birthday was May the 4th. The force be with you, the 4th. May the 4th be with you, yeah, May 4th. Yep. Um, yeah, and JJ's was May 25th. Mine's May 3rd. And Tylee's is September 24th. Charles's is August 17th, 1956. And yeah, um, Joe Ryan's is like November 3rd, I think. And Alex's was January 18th. That's the day before my mom's birthday. So it's crazy. Yeah. Anyways. All right. Well, let's just get going, right? And who else am I missing? Um, Tylee, JJ, Charles, Tammy, Joe. I think that's about it. May 8th. All right. Oh, your mother was killed in a car accident on May 5th. Cinco de Mayo, right? She was buried on your birthday. Oh, and it was mother. Oh my God, Joshmo. Oh my God. When it rains, it pours. That's how I roll. That's how life rolls for me. That's why I always say I'm a whole asser. Okay. And I don't mean it to be ugly or snarky or whatever. It's just everything I do is whole assed. If I mess up, it's big. Okay. It's gigantic. And I'm like, oh my God. If I do great, it's big, it just depends. But either way, it's one way or the other. It's never just in between in the middle. Yeah, no. Um, I don't know why that is, but hopefully I've chilled out a little bit in my older age. So, yeah, it is awful. I'm sorry for your loss as well. That's terrible. Hopefully you have good memories and, you know, I just try to like do my loved ones who have passed away. I want to do them proud, I want to make them proud, whether they're here, whether they can see here. I don't know. I don't have the answers, right? I don't think anybody does. So, if they can, I hope that I'm doing my best to represent them. I don't always do my best because I'm human and I make mistakes, but I think that's all that, just honor them and, make people not look at you and say, oh my God, some people's kids, like that. Um, oh, really? I didn't No, I didn't see this yet. Did you see Court TV was live tonight with the hour thing on Lori and Charles? Where did their love go wrong? When they met. When he walked into the damn barber shop, okay? Oh, no. You know what I mean. I mean, we can all just wish and hope and shoulda, woulda, coulda. Y'all know I've done that. Oh, Nina Canadian. Oh, Joe, that's a whammy. I've had a birthday, deaths, funerals, they suck. Sorry. Sorry about that, but I'm glad your mom had you, I'm glad all our moms had us, That's yeah, they didn't have to. We didn't ask to be born either, right? How many times have your kids told you that? I know I've said that to my mom a long time ago. I didn't ask to be born. Okay. I was snarky. Oh my God, I was snarky back in the day. Still am. All right. So again, we're going to talk about today one of the seven gatherers. Okay. Another one of the seven gatherers. Let's see. Let me pull this up so I can. And I also, what I did too, and so we can go over this as well if y'all want to over here. They had on whatever 48 hour CBS or whatever this thing that I need to delete because it loads up in my damn files. But it was from crap. cbsnews.com, and it's basically the entire not 2020, but it's a show. I can only do the sound. It goes da da dun dun da da dun dun or whatever. Anyways, 48 hours. Yeah, 48 hours. I just deleted it. So, but this is like the entire show everything they said in the show, and so it has like, Morgan Lowe is the reporter, then it has whoever testified at Lori's trial, okay, like April Raymond, and then it just goes on. Summer Shiflett, it says, "It's a great question. We would love to know the answer to that. We don't know, but we know we are very confident that Lori would never harm her children, ever." Remember that? So, I mean, anyways, it's pretty lengthy, and, um, it kinda goes over everybody, and, anyway, so that's something we can go over as well if you guys want to. If not, we can shut it down. Let me get to sorry, my tabs. I'm so confused because, you know, I need to change the thumbnail on these things because 'cause they're so back when, I didn't know how to do thumbnails at all. And so, um, anyways, I need to do that and re-upload, 3,000 views. We need to get some views on this. We need to get people to see these people in these interviews so they'll be if they don't make it today. So this let me skip the intro. Okay, which is probably what I already had done. Alright, so, I was gonna try and go over okay, so just a little bit about Christina Atwood and Nicole Earl. They're best friends, they're BFFs, and they're co-founders of Gathering Humanity. I crap you not. Gathering. I'm just like, "You're the 7 gatherers." Okay? In 2016, Christina Atwood went on a local Facebook group to invite the community to help provide goods for an arriving refugee family she had learned about. And the response was so overwhelming, it led to joining with Nicole Earl to start and run a nonprofit, Gathering Humanity. This grassroots organization provides essential goods to those in need. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I lost my spot because I looked for the tab. Okay, to those experiencing resettlement. They organize community donations and volunteers in order to furnish apartments for refugees and others, helping make their house truly a home, offering not only a significant financial benefit, but a warm welcome to new neighbors. And so the organization is 100% run by volunteers and supported through donations, like yours. It provides ways to engage people of all ages to make a difference and serve the vulnerable arriving in our area. Now, the only thing that's kind of alarming about this to me is knowing how these people, and I say these people meaning all these philanthropists, okay? The ones that, for those of you who don't know, I research all the people in and around Lori and Chad's circle. And I've done this for 6 years now. And it's alarming. This is a much bigger movement. This isn't just Chad. Chad and Lori are just a leg of it. Okay. Then there's Tim Ballard. There's Jody Hildebrandt. There's Tom Harrison. There's I believe David Hamblin. Okay. It's basically an enterprise. Okay. Just like with that person, Tilleman suing Jody Hildebrandt. They're suing the enterprise. This is an enterprise, even just Chad and Lori and their get up, okay? But I mean, it's just a much bigger enterprise that is wreaking havoc on not just my family, but others all around, I mean, it's just they're not being put together by the mainstream media. I don't know, maybe they just got tired. I don't know. It's a lot to explain. I've tried, and I'm trying to piece that together so that it can be intelligible, so people can actually follow what the hell I'm saying, okay? Because it is so much, but they all have the same thing in common. Oh, add Julie Rowe to that too. The same thing in common is, I mean, I don't know this about Jody and Ruby, but everything else, it tracks, okay? But it's all to do with this doctrine, this Mormon doctrine that is being you can say it's being, perverted, or you can say they're following it verbatim. I don't really know, you know? I've read it. I pretty much know it more than anything else I know. But it's all, I think we were married before in a past life. that is the pickup line of the century in this true crime Mormon this Mormon true crime area, in the Mormidor, okay? It's just straight up, horrible. It is. I mean, I actually told my daughter one day, I was like, "Ashlyn, if anybody ever approaches you and says they think you were married in a past life," I was like, "Girl, just run and call me, okay? Run. Don't look back. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Just call me and just haul ass, okay? Woo, we don't need none of that." And so it's just this, slow indoctrination, inversion, and it's a very slippery slope, it seems, for people who I believe don't have a good grasp on doctrinal things. Um, that these are people who, and I'm not making fun at anybody. Y'all know that's not my thing. I'm not here to just be like, ha ha, that's not it. I'm trying to talk about the difficult things because they have to be talked about. If not, we never get down to the root of the problem. I need root of the problem so I can find it and pinpoint it, acknowledge it, and huh. Oh, okay. I'm hearing him. Right, walls are thin. Okay, hold on. Let me mute for a second. He was getting okay. I thought something was wrong. Anyways, it's nothing wrong. He was getting Silas so they could go pick Leland up. Um, Back to what I was saying. So it's I forgot kind of what I was saying. Anyways, it's irrelevant. It's something I'll say 20,000 more times in my lifetime, probably. So it just it's just a much more wider spread problem. Um and I mean, we've seen that for ourselves by watching, the case of Ruby and Jody, um watching the lawsuits fly and the accusations fly for Tim Ballard, which is, in my opinion, it's the Mormon version of P. Diddy. And that's just me. So, you know, you can read the documents and find out for yourself. That's the best thing to do is your own research. Oh, hey, Sonia. Oh, I'll keep them asleep with my voice. Hey, Huggy Bear. Hey, Chris. If authorities keep the law of the land and we keep our freedom of speech, you're all right. And continue to expose angle. Oh, angels doing recording deeds will be rewarded in the hereafter. Keeping the faith. Absolutely. Hey, Lamisa, glad you could get here, girl. We were waiting on you. How'd you know? Glad you're here. You're not late. You're just on time. Okay, let me get back over here. So what bothers me is I wonder if Christina Earl, because this was in 2024, whenever um, this took place, this Women of Chandler. Okay, this is Meet Chandler City Lifestyles 2024 honorees. And so I wonder if they're transparent with their donors about being involved in the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell saga. I mean, very involved. So much so that out of all the people, these 2 women they make up the 2 of the 7 gatherers. And then gathering humanity. And I'm just like, and it started in 2016. So what? So did Nicole and Christina create the email for the women to, they say communicate, I say conspire. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I want to know what's in that email. What were they communicating? It couldn't have been good. I mean, we see how they were texting and stuff, but I mean, it would be nice to know. It would be nice to know. That's just me though. Let's see what this is. Oh, yeah, I do all kinds of hodgepodge stuff in one app. This is the wrong one anyway. That's why I'm having a problem. Hold on just one sec. Mm. Actually, let me start playing the thing and I can do all this other stuff while I'm, doing this. Let me find that tab. Allegedly. Right here. Okay, so we're gonna start listening to Nicole Earl.
1507 hours, Detective Moffat at We'll be speaking with Nicole Earl in regards to case number 19-83477.
So, right here, I put Nicole Earl was listed on Chad and Lori Daybell's trust level rating scale as an 86. So she ranked 86 on the trust level scale. This ranks her above Melanie Pulowski and just below Melanie Gibb. So that's interesting, right? And yeah, this is the same bunch of women that are gathered that Julie Rowe said she called those Arizona bitches. Remember that? Yeah, we were here for it. This was April 15, 2020, when Detective Moffitt from the Chandler Police Department in Arizona interviewed her. So she's very, oh my God, she talks like that. So get ready for it. Mm. Dude. We'll be reading it.
Hi. Hi, is Nicole in?
Yeah. This sucks. It's not very accurate. Okay.
Hi, Nicole. I'm Detective Moffitt with Chandler PD. How are you?
I'm good.
Just wanted to touch base with you about Lori Vallow.
Okay.
So, if I come in, or you want to talk out here, or whatever is more comfortable for you. All right.
I did, Huggy Bear. Todd Wood is one of their people. Todd Wood.
So how'd you know?
I meant to tell you all that, but that's when I checked on them. Todd Wood was on their 990s. And I was like, interesting names, right? Yeah, I'll go I grabbed a couple screenshots, but I'll share them in a little while.
Lori.
But yeah, definitely look them up because I don't know what I'm looking
at. Switch notepads here. The pages. Mm-hmm. How'd you meet her?
Wow.
I met her at church.
Church? How long have you known her?
My husband might be able to remember better. 2000. I want to say like 2008.
Okay.
Josh, do you remember how long ago the was?
Gosh.
Something like that. Feels like it was a year back.
Yeah. Okay.
Y'all speaking to the mic?
No, because they weren't here then.
Maybe like 10 years.
Okay.
Maybe 2011.
Are you going to keep playing?
Yeah, I'd say 10 years is fair.
Okay. How
I
often?
remember the exact
Yeah, that's fine.
year.
And you met through church?
Uh-huh.
Which ward?
It was, at the time, Lindsay First Ward, I want to say.
Okay. And then you guys just kept in touch?
Yeah.
How
She
often?
moved to Hawaii. Her family moved to Hawaii, like about maybe a year or two after.
Okay.
I don't remember. I just know they were gone for about 3 years. And then Josh ran into her at another church and said, "Oh, they've moved back."
Gotcha.
And because we were friends with them and their children, and
I think you're passing out.
How often? I guess prior to all the stuff that's happened, when was the last time that you talked to her?
last time like in person?
Or even over the phone.
The last time, well, like there's texting and then there's phone calls, right? So the last text was probably in December.
Okay. This of
2018.
Okay.
I could go back and look at my text if you needed.
And what was that text?
Just said I'm praying for your family, and
You said that to her?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she respond at all?
Her sisters and her mom and.
Okay, so you knew her pretty well over the course of the 10 or 11 years. Did she respond to you at all?
I do not believe she responded to that.
When's the last time you saw her in person?
It was, I believe, very end of July or first part of August.
So after Charles had died?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw her a couple of times after Charles died. At least 2 times.
What did she have to say about that and about Charles passing?
She told me everything she believed that happened.
What did she tell you happened?
She said that Charles came in from out of town. I believe she said he was staying maybe at a hotel or something.
Okay.
I was coming to pick up JJ
Okay.
to go to school. And I'm not very good at all the details, but she said that he came and there was confrontation, and the Tylee came in with I don't know if it was a softball bat or a baseball bat, but some sort of bat. And then she said that she had Tylee take JJ out to the car.
Okay.
And buckle him into the seat. And then that's when Charles took the bat and tried to hit Alex.
Okay.
And then Alex fired in self-defense.
Did you know Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was not well? How many times had you met him? Or
a birthday, like JJ's birthday party, and that was the first time, and that would have been last summer. No, not last summer. The summer before. Yeah.
So summer of 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever his birthday was, like it was a pool party, so that's why I'm thinking it was summer.
Okay.
But I don't
May
remember
25th.
exactly when his birthday was.
Besides that birthday party, like you said, you knew her sisters and her parents and stuff. Had you had many interactions with Alex? Okay.
We gotta go back because she said birthday
Not well.
party, and she said in July. I wasn't paying that much attention about that. But what you said, Huggy Bear, just blew my freaking mind, because that seems to be par for the course with Tim Ballard, Julie Rowe. Chad Daybell was kind of minding her, and then or publishing her books around that time and hitting the circuit, so to speak. And it just brings me back to the whole get up behind M. Russell Ballard allegedly wanting Tim Ballard in that whiteboard, the 2019 whiteboard meeting, to proselytize and monetize. And then boom, you have Jody Hildebrandt, Ruby Frankie, you have Julie Rowe, kind of Chad Daybell in that sense, behind her. You've got him and Julie meeting up with Tom Harrison in his Salt Lake City office so he could teach him how to freaking portal, which is remote view. Okay, then you have Tim Ballard, of course, and then all the other nonprofit organizations brewing up around this time. So, was this a new marketing tool? I'm just saying, this is a front. All these crazy so-called, fringe Mormons here who were still, none of them left the church, okay? None. They were all practicing faithful Mormons, okay? And while I know and I understand that they're not all Mormons, I get that. But I mean, what's going on here? Is there a bigger thing pushing to try and monetize, proselytize and monetize, so that they can convert new people into their church? And, all this while they're rebranding, everything's rebranding. Think about the rebranding thing for anybody who's into that. Anyways, that was good. But yeah, let's back this up, because I want to know what the hell she's talking about.
That, and then she said that she had Tylee take JJ out to the car.
Okay.
And buckle him into the see.
Okay, according to everything else and everybody else, right? It's that Charles brought JJ out to the car, buckled him in, and left his phone in the house. I pray, and I don't know. In Alex Murdaugh's trial, we learned that they came up with all the, on your iPhone for sure, and that's what my uncle had, was an iPhone. Did it count his steps? Will it show her, like gallivanting around the damn living room or whatever, like something like that? It just kind of makes me wonder what information they do have. Because that would be glorious in my opinion. Or was he recording her? Or, had it recording? I don't know. I just know that she didn't look at the damn phone. I mean, really, all this is going on. She looks at the phone and sees a whole elaborate plan that 3 people, Charles, Al, Adam, and I guess they said another person, right? The Christina lady from Sunday said that there were 3 people. So I'm thinking Brandon or whomever else Lori labeled black, not black, dark, dark. And so she, you can't tell me she sat there and looked at the damn screen and got that much from it. She knew that because Adam was supposed to keep it quiet. He was supposed to keep it quiet, but he got his mom to pick him up from the airport. Why? I'm just saying, like, why? What is the whole point? Is to be quiet, and plan your work your plan, and it was never meant to be, in my opinion. Uncle Charles was like set up by, or let down for sure, by everyone around him. I think it thundered.
And then that's when Charles took the bat and tried to hit Alex.
Okay.
Lady,
Fired in self-defense.
Did you know Alex? Okay. What was not well? How many times had you met him? Or
a birthday, like JJ's birthday party, and that was the first time, and that would have been last summer. No, not last summer. The summer before. Yeah.
So summer of 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever his birthday was, it was a pool party, so that's why
May 25th.
Summer.
Okay.
But I don't remember exactly when his birthday was.
Besides that birthday party, like you said, you knew her sisters and her parents and stuff. Had you had many interactions with Alex? Okay. When was the last time you saw Lori in person? I guess prior to Charles's death.
I believe it would have been.
Not really.
Possibly June.
Okay.
I know that she moved to Texas at some point in the springtime.
Okay.
Because they separated in January.
I can't hear this lady.
And
She
then
is
he
speak
went
up.
to Texas. I believe it was Houston. And then she went there maybe 18-ish.
Okay.
Went there for a little while and then came back. And that had JJ.
When she came back from Houston?
I believe so.
Okay.
And I think I remember her saying, because he went to the special school
Lauren Institute, yeah.
And she was having him in the summer program there.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I remember. Because whatever the school was in Houston, it wasn't really the best fit. I remember her saying.
Gotcha.
You wouldn't get murdered there.
To do well at the Lauren Institute and like the staff and the teachers and I remember there was some sort of purse altercation, and I think it might have been during that time.
Okay.
He had taken her purse or something, but I don't remember
I'd have done it
much
too.
of the details.
What the details were. Okay.
Yeah. But I do think that might have been in the springtime.
So, are you LDS? Obviously, you guys met through the church. Did you ever hear Lori, I guess, discuss things that were kind of like outside of the LDS faith and have conversations with her about that stuff?
Yeah, she did talk a little bit about those things.
And what do you know? I guess what were the things that you heard, or I guess knowing now, kind of where all of these criminal cases have gone? Is there anything that stands out to you now as something like, oh, that's strange, or that conversation was weird, or anything else like that?
I don't know if I exactly know what you mean.
Oh my God. What's wrong with that lady?
I guess, like, I just left Christina's house, and Christina had overheard conversations that she's like, that was just a really bizarre conversation that we had, and it made me feel uncomfortable, and it was kind of outside the norm of any normal conversation you'd kind of overhear. Yeah. Did you ever have those conversations with Lori?
Yeah, she talked about her husband being possessed.
Okay.
And Heidi as well. And one of the things that didn't really ring true to me was that
I'm going to smoke, so I'm going off camera.
Like, you can easily get on people. Like, whether they're doing the right thing or not in their life, like, that you can just kind of pick and choose, and it's like, we're all just kind of in this life together. It's my thoughts. And
okay.
We just need to keep on doing the right thing. And so I didn't really like that.
Right,
and as she started talking about those things, I just tried to distance myself more from those conversations.
This lady doesn't talk very loud.
Well, I guess one of the reasons that you came to be, or I guess that we wanted to follow up and talk to you. I don't know if you've seen any of these emails and stuff, but this was kind of something that was found in an email between Chad and Lori, and it kind of goes through their previous lives and who everybody is, and obviously you were included on that. So it was just kind of you, Christina, and Serena were all included on that. So we're kind of following up with all of you guys just to see where everybody fits into the puzzle. And
I recognize one of the names.
What?
I'm not ever seeing this document.
You don't understand this stuff. Run the whole nonprofit. Woo. This one's not scoring big with me on my trust level. Much less Bill.
So I do know a lot of these people.
Of course you do.
I know Jason now. He was in that same ward, but I don't know if he was actually there when Lori. I don't believe he lived there when she was in the ward, actually.
Okay. On that note, I found this. Okay. Just to give a little background. Okay. This says, this is from the Chandler police document. It says continuing examination. Well, crap. Oh man, I hate this because then I want to say all the other things. This is like right before. Oh my gosh. Okay. On 7/8/2019 at 12:50 hours, Charles shared this letter to Adam, as well as a text message string he had with Lori regarding the letter. The following is a communication between Lori and Charles using the text message sent to Adam Cox. Charles says, "Then you tell me why you send my name and fictitious email to send a BS email about a book I am having him ghostwrite for me. It's fraud and a lie. There's no other reason for it other than to get him to AZ and have an excuse for his wife. You did this. I had nothing to do with it, and you know it. Also, he did not stay with us in November. I will find out." Lori replies, "You are wasting your time. They are both my friends," referring to Tammy and Chad. "Move on with your life. We are done. Let's just get through it." Charles, "Boy, this is the quote of the damn century. You're destroying people's lives. Had I known you were spending hours talking to Mel and poisoning her toward Brandon, I would have said something. You're disgusting. You have had a serious disconnect. Otherwise, you'd send your lover Moroni, because that's Jason, right, to come zap me or put me in a pod. Or put me in a pod. Moroni to come zap me or put me in a pod. Or you, yeah, him, do to Joe. I'm sorry. Or you, yeah, him. I guess do to him what you did to Joe or something. I don't know what that says. Or a pod, or you, yeah, him, do to Joe. Get through it. Are you going to go? Are you gonna go to court to fine? I don't know. Otherwise, nothing will happen. You just hate it when your evil ways have been exposed. That is a lie. Lori says, tired of the way you are speaking to me. I will not stay married to someone who claims to be a priesthood holder and speaks to me the way you do. Charles says, me? Look at what you say to me. You've called me Ned and Garrett, and you call me off? Lori, go look in the mirror. All the ones you have in your damn living room. Okay. You will be stopped. That's all I'll say, and you won't see it coming. You are in need of some serious help. I do have the priesthood, but you're the one having an affair. You're out of your mind. Think about all the things you truly believe about yourself. I'm the only one brave enough and loves you enough to call you on this BS, which is all it is. You've been horribly deceived. You asked me if it ever hurt anyone, and the answer is hell yes. Just look around you. You're destroying every family you touch. Right there. Lori says, stop texting me or I'm blocking you. I'll assume you are not coming to pick up JJ since you are off to try to get non-existent evidence against me. Have fun with that. Oh, we will. Charles says, I don't enjoy fighting with you, but you need to be stopped from destroying so many more lives than you already have with your whacked out delusions. You've made our beautiful gospel a thing of horror. That will stop. Just take care of JJ till you get out where you belong. Just keep me updated on how our boy is doing. That's all for now. Pick him up. I'm staying at my house, he says. Lori says, no, you are not. Jason Mal will make sure of that. Get a hotel or stay with Brandon, your best friend. So petty. Troll says, no. Is he on the lease? I'll have the police there if he tries. It's my house. And you go stay with your boyfriend at his hotel since he's making so much money writing a book for me. Lori says, okay, Joe Ryan, he is the police. He is retired. He is not on the lease. Even he can't do anything. Charles says, you leave when I get there and no issues. Lori says, you don't come. Stay in Houston until the divorce is done. ? So again, that was July 8th. I don't want to have to go all the way back. Okay. And Charles says, not filing. I'll be there later. Like I said, when I come to the door, you can leave if you like. Take Tylee too. You get awful angry when you get caught in your lies. Lori says, JJ is sick and wants his mommy. I guess she means good luck. Goodrich trying to take him away from me. Charles says, I'm not taking him anywhere. I hope he gets better soon. I'm staying there. I've never taken him from you. We've been good at working together since you came back. As you can see, it's affected him greatly, right? Hopefully he'll get better soon. And he's probably not even sick. She's just saying that shit because she's one of them. Yeah, my bonus sons have a mom like that. I deal with, oh my God, it's horrible. I don't want to escalate this any further. Let's both calm down and do what we're supposed to do. Take care of our boy. I'm sorry I upset you. I will find out the truth eventually about all your doings. I'll leave the rest to you. We need to talk about Mo Run, but not today. Whatever that is. Mo Run. Or Mo Run. I don't know. Let's try tomorrow and both agree to be civil. I'm not going to file for a divorce. I'll leave that to you. Charles told Adam that this was a great example of what was happening, and this was the first time he has told Lori what he truly feels. So this is the police saying this right here. And so it says, continuing examination. In reviewing this text string, I was aware that Jason Mao was a former police officer with the Chandler Police Department and Phoenix Police Department. He is a motivational speaker with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who has spoken at an event in Arizona where Chad Daybell was also a guest speaker. Mao speaks of the warrior ethos in preparing yourselves for the final days. I then did a keyword search using, I guess, Mao, and learned, or Jason, I don't know, and learned that it was Mao that introduced Lori to the Preparing a People group. And so this says on 10/1, so October 1st, 2018, this is just 26 days or 25 days before Lori meets Chad, allegedly, in St. George, Utah. Okay. Here, Joe Schmo, this is where this comes from. Hi, Jason. This is Lori Vallow. We met in the Celestial Room on September 21st. I have read and really enjoyed 2 of your books since then. I just love Moroni so much. I'm not good at social media, so I was just going to give you my number and email so that if you feel inspired to put me into contact with some like-minded people, boy, that's a dog whistle I cannot stand right there. Are you like-minded people? I'm like-minded people. I would love that. Blank. Okay. Or redacted. I did talk to my bishop about having you come speak at our youth, and he said he would love that. Why would she talk to her bishop when she was just getting, it's either give me my tipple recommend or I'm going to murder. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a hookup. I swear. It sounds like a polygamy hookup, where because there's something that Mike Stroud says. He says, you inquire and plead to obtain and receive, brothers and sisters. Okay. He said it at the very freaking conference where they actually got sealed in the temple. Okay. So it just makes me wonder if like Lori just was like, okay, I'm going to inquire and I'm going to plead to, so I can obtain and receive this holy order, this holy priesthood that also gives women the same priesthood power or whatever the hell. All right. And so Jason Mowell responded, "Hi, Lori. Thank you for those kind words. I will pass your info along to a lady named Melanie Gibb, who is the point of contact for a lot of the stuff we do. Also, you and Nicole Earl might want to check out this website, www.preparingapeople.com. There is a big expo, which is the Fern Foundation, in November. Well, no, that wasn't, but at that time for sure. Mike and Nancy James, they were all in cahoots with Rod Meldrum, producing all his videos and stuff for his Fern Foundation. Oh, I need to go look and see when the Fern Foundation and all of Rod Meldrum's other nonprofits. He also has one about doing the tours, what Tim loves to do, and kind of like Nephite Explorer, which would be Ryan Fisher, kind of see when they came onto the scene. That would be interesting. All right. And so there's a big expo in November in Mesa for like-minded people, and you all should come. Great speakers and events. So that's Jason Mao. Continuing to look at the iCloud content, I saw messages between Melanie Gibb, Lori Vallow, a person named Thor Fierceth, and Jason Mao about making podcasts. There is no indication at this time that Mao is affiliated with any of the crimes mentioned. It is believed that Lori is simply a follower of, I guess, I don't know, Daybell, and holds him in high regard. Another important fact is in the message string with Lori was that Charles indicated Lori called him Ned or Garrett. This is of great importance as Lori would refer to Charles by the name of Ned in her iCloud data. In a text message that Lori sent to Chad Daybell on 7/18/2019, 1 week. What? Oh, okay. It says Lori to Chad. I was like, she sent it to Charles? Okay. Hold on. Okay, so this goes in a text message that Lori sent to Chad Daybell on 7/18/2019, 1 week after Charles was murdered. She indicated the following, quote, "So I talked to the insurance company. He changed it in March, so it was probably Ned before we got rid of him. They can't tell me who, to who, of course, but it's done. I'll still get the $4,000 a month from Social Security," end quote. And so, yeah, this goes into that, but I want to let me get back to that video, the audio interview. Ooh. Which is here. Okay. Hey, LeBron.
Had you ever met Chad Daybell? No, never met him. Had you ever heard or had any conversations with Lori about Chad?
She gave me his book series.
Okay.
I guess there was a Preparing a People conference here
Okay.
in Mesa, maybe, or Gilbert. I'm not quite sure.
Did you ever go to any of
I
those?
didn't go to any of them, so I don't know exactly
Okay.
what they're about. But when she came back from that conference, then she gave me a set of the books.
Gotcha.
I'm not a fiction reader. I actually despise it.
Okay.
So I read a little bit of the first one, and I was like, yeah,
Oh, she speaks up.
So
Gotcha.
anyway,
Thank you,
I
Lorraine.
haven't read any of them.
Okay.
I don't really know what they talk about other than that very first book.
Besides her basically giving you the book and stuff, did she ever talk to you about how when they became friends, or the relationship that they?
She talked about, well, she met him at that Preparing People, from what I understand.
Okay.
And I don't know if she was presenting at that or if she just went to it. I have no idea.
Okay.
Because I do know she went to another one in Idaho, maybe. And I think she did present there, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
And like I know Melanie Gibb does present at those because she wrote some sort of book or something, which I haven't read either.
Gotcha.
Not
because you don't like the fiction stuff.
not my kind of thing. So
Thank you.
she met him, and then I didn't really hear her say anything about him until probably March or maybe April, and then she started to talk about him. But she didn't necessarily talk about him that they were having any sort of relationship.
Okay.
Other than I think they were in communication with one another. He lives in Idaho and she lived here, and she was in Texas at that time too. So that's all I know. She didn't ever go into any detail about, because now, like, obviously there's a lot in the media, but I was never given any information.
Gotcha. Okay.
About that there was anything romantic going on or anything of that nature. So I can't speak about that.
Gotcha. As far as, I guess, is there anything that with our investigations that you overheard that you think I should know, or like that we should discuss type thing? You know what I'm saying? I know. Well, let me ask you this: you are LDS. How often did you guys have conversations of I guess her beliefs, or the beliefs that she was kind of falling into, that were far out over and above the LDS faith and the teachings in the LDS church?
That's a good question. So, I don't know, are you LDS?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Once she moved back from Hawaii, I ran into her. Josh had said she was here, but she wasn't living nearby.
Gotcha.
And then I ran into her at the temple, which is over on
Higley? Or Greenfield?
Greenfield.
Yeah.
Greenfield, Pecos. And so we visited, and then periodically we would go do work at the temple.
Okay.
And that's what we were doing. So we were discussing religious things, but it wasn't necessarily far left things that we're hearing about. She did, however, ask me to come, and she visited in March, I want to say, and she did visit about some of those things, and it just was not something that rang true to me.
Okay.
And at that point, that's when I distanced myself, and it was easier because she was in Texas after that.
Gotcha.
So, there'd be some texting back and forth, and then she moved back in June with JJ to go to school, and she wanted to get together. We got together, and once again, she discussed some of those things, and they just weren't ringing true with me. So at that point, I really just thought, I'm not interested in like I still like her as a person, but I'm not interested in getting involved in those kinds of things. And then in July, I was out of town, and Josh called me as I was driving home and said, I just heard through the grapevine that Charles died. He didn't have any information, so I didn't know what had happened. So I did reach out to her at that point and just sent her a message and said, I am thinking about you. I hope everything is well. Hopefully you and the kids are okay. And then a couple of days later, she contacted me, and I could look back and tell you the exact dates on the text messages if you need them.
If you think there's anything in the context that I need to know or I should know as far as these investigations go.
Her before that happened.
Okay.
And then she said that she wanted to get together and visit, and I was a little bit concerned about it because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't impeding any sort of police investigation or getting information that I shouldn't be privileged to hear or have. And so that was a couple of days after. And so we met, and I just let her talk the whole time. And I didn't really ask a lot of questions because I was just in shock, really. It just was so surprising that things could escalate to that degree. And so that made me sad because we've known Charles for 10 years. I know his sons. I know Tylee and JJ. And
Knowing Charles as well as you did you ever see any side of Charles that would have been, the yelling and screaming and the allegations that she basically, or the behaviors that she says Charles, or how he acted at the time of the...
I didn't ever see any of that because most of the times I was seeing him, we were in social settings.
Okay.
We were at, get together at their house or like at church. And so I didn't ever see anything of that. Like, she shared things with me, but obviously those are her words. So I don't.
So previous to this, has she confided in you that Charles was, verbally abusive or physically abusive or anything like that in the past?
She didn't say anything about physically, but she mentioned he was a little hot-tempered at times.
Okay.
And he was an intense person. I think that's why he was such a good businessman, because he could just get in there and get things done and all. But yeah, I can't really speak to that because I never saw.
Okay. Did you ever hear her or Alex or anybody talk about like what if somebody were possessed, how they deal with the possession or anything like that back when this was going on? I know you might have seen a lot of media stuff since then, but at firsthand, did you ever hear her or Alex talk about, what to do when somebody is possessed?
Lori, I didn't ever hear Alex talk about anything like that. Like, I saw him social settings once again, like little family get-togethers.
Yeah.
And then 1-2 other times. And one time was Serena. She had moved here from Connecticut in August-ish.
That was
Okay.
weird.
End of July, 1st of August.
Of this past year, shortly after Charles died?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's moving to Queen Creek, and so Lori sent out a text and said, let's all get together at Costa Vida and have lunch. And when I arrived, Alex was there, which I thought was rather strange because it was just a bunch of ladies that were getting together for lunch. So
It's not
he was
funny.
there, and
Ain't nothing funny.
but he didn't really converse or talk much during the course of the lunch.
Okay.
And if he was talking, it was like, kind of groups of people chatting at the table. So
Gotcha.
I didn't really hear anything he was saying necessarily.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to ask you. What's a good phone number to get a hold of you?
666. They bleep that part out.
That really is a number.
That's an easy number to remember.
It's the best number.
Go
for my
down
middle
666.
kindergartner and my kids, 'cause
Absolutely.
they could remember that.
Anything else that you could think of that's important, I guess, now knowing that we have all these criminal investigations going, that you overheard then, that, like I said, you might have written it off, but you go, oh man, now that all this is happening that's weird or bizarre? Or
In June, when we saw her after she'd been gone a couple of months, when I say we, Christine and I
Okay.
got together with her, she had said that, and Christine would be able to recall, I don't even take ibuprofen, so I have no understanding of medicine or anything of that nature.
Okay.
But there
This
was
is pretty
some
criminal.
sort of, I think it was a medicine of some sort, and I don't know if it was something Charles took or if it's something
Oh, that lady.
that maybe was another medication that JJ took.
Okay.
I know JJ took quite a bit of medicine.
Yeah.
It's different.
Quite a bit.
But she had said that she had been putting whatever this was into, I think, a smoothie or some sort of drink for Charles when she was in Texas.
Okay.
Last month.
My God.
But I don't recall any name or anything because my brain doesn't really know any of that information. I'm just not
It's a big
a
one.
medicine person.
Are you a human though? Oh.
Anything else you could think of?
Why didn't he ask more about that?
I read stuff and it's just like all this is very, very surreal. Like to know somebody for a long time and then just to have everything in a matter of a few months turn upside down, and like to know the kids. And
Had she ever, I guess in the text messages that you guys had, like after she moved, did you know she was moving to Idaho? Did she tell you that?
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Did you ever Zoom with them?
I guess it was
Out.
end of July or first part of August. I believe we were texting, and the people that they'd rented the house from where the incident had happened, I believe they were friends.
Joe.
Of
Yeah.
Lori
Congrats
Charles,
or whatever.
and they were really unhappy with it, obviously. And I don't know if it leaves some sort of record on the house for like sales later on or something, but she said that they were wanting her to leave, and I said, well, just let us know. Like, I have teenage boys. I said, we can come and we can help you pack up your things and get you settled someplace else if you need that kind of help. And she's like, okay, I'll let you know. And she didn't ever say anything. So I was really surprised when all of a sudden I saw the media in December and realized not long after all that she had left and had moved to Idaho, and I wasn't aware that she was in Idaho.
Gotcha. So any text conversations you had with her, if there were any around that time, she never said she was moving to Idaho or what she was doing. Okay.
Allegedly.
The last I heard is she just said that the people that owned the home told her she would need to move out, and her niece Melanie, had possibly said she could live there for the time, like trying to figure out.
Gotcha.
Because I think from what she had said in July, after she was concerned about the money and like all the business debt and everything, that talked about all the car loans and just not knowing how all of this was going to work out. And
Okay.
because she had said that Charles had changed all the, and his sister, I believe it would have been in March, had changed all the life insurance policies and all those things over to his sister at that point in time, which was understandable in my mind because he was pretty angry with Lori and her and whatever else.
Yeah.
And so, and his sister had come and helped him move to Texas, so I knew that she was involved in trying to help Charles with JJ and getting things settled. And
Gotcha.
so that was something that she was saying, so I didn't know where she would end up
Okay.
That's why we were willing to go and like help her load up a moving truck or get into an apartment or wherever she needed to land, knowing that I'm sure that that house was not inexpensive to rent.
Yeah.
$4,500 a
So
month.
obviously,
Because they'd always lived in pretty fancy, nice homes and areas in the past. So.
you don't have any idea where the kids are. They aren't with you or any one of their friends or mutual friends or okay.
Yeah.
And she hasn't. There hasn't been any responses, I guess, since the media has gotten a hold of this that would shed any light on this case or these cases one way or another.
Like a text message.
Yeah, like text messages or anything.
I don't think I received anything from her. I could go get my phone and look, but I don't believe when I texted her in December when I saw everything going on, I don't think she responded at that point.
Okay.
Mine was positive.
I ran out of business cards, but I'm gonna write my email address and my desk phone number down for you. If something comes up, if you happen to something comes to mind of I really should tell Nathan or Detective Moffat that, just give me a call or shoot me an email. They have us working from home 3 days a week, so this is my 1 day off office work until this quarantine is done. I'm guessing that will be done by it might go into mid-May. My wife's a ER trauma nurse, charge nurse, and they're seeing a decline, but they're still seeing steady cases. So I think it all depends on what the governor wants to do or decides to do.
It's steady cases. Are they really high-risk cases, or is it just people having symptoms and it's more like mild flu?
My personal opinion in talking to her and in the way it's working, the scary part is there are people mid-30s that have no medical condition, non-smokers, that are reacting bad to this and crashing. And it's not many, but it's those rare cases that you go, really, is anybody safe, depending on how personally your body's going to react to it. A lot of people are coming in and going, they have bronchitis-like symptoms and that kind of stuff, and they're COVID positive, and they're like, well, I just don't feel good. I'm not getting better.
Yeah,
well, go home and quit infecting people and just stay home for until you're better type thing. So it's really just kind of a bizarre mix of it's those one-offs, and you never know if there is something underlying. They could have had. I work in homicide. I've done death investigations where 22-year-old kids found at the park and just had an aortic dissection or something that was underlying medical condition. So you don't know whether or not those people might have had an undiagnosed or untreated because they didn't see a physician. But it's those one-off cases that are kind of scary. Obviously at the at-risk groups and stuff like that they're at risk. You're more susceptible to get something like that. So I get that. But they are going down. They have a tent set outside the CRH because that's where she works at, and for any COVID type complaints, if it's non-emergent and doesn't need to happen right away, then they're being treated out there, and if they don't need to be admitted, they just go home from there and quarantine. So I'm guessing. I think because of the bad economy and stuff like that, they might rush to open it back on May 1, as we were set to do, but hopefully the governor's paying attention, and if we need to stay closed, to stay down for 2 more weeks, we do, just because I think it really is. If you're sitting here or going to the grocery store and you wash your hands and don't touch your face while you're in there and use hand sanitizer, you're not likely to get it. So if we get on the downhill curve of this, hopefully it slows it and we get all done with this. So.
Here, like you're trying to wade through what the media is saying. Like I was just at Michigan, and it's a mess.
Yeah, Michigan's really bad.
Louisiana, and it's just like both of those are terrible states to be in right now.
Yeah, and New York obviously is really, really bad.
It's in Louisiana, just wait for Manhattan a couple of years ago. I'm like, you would have been bad off no matter where you've been.
Right.
So, Well, thanks to your wife and you for being on the front line of all this
Thank you.
hard stuff. Like, I can't even imagine homicide. That would be grateful for people that are willing to do that.
There's my email address. I need to take that back only because stuff's been getting to the media and it's just making matters worse for all of us. So, not that you would, but I just.
No,
Any questions for me?
Very careful sharing with anyone. Like, people knew that I was friends with her and they come to ask me. I just try not to share details.
I don't believe that. I don't
create any extra sensationalism or
Yeah.
And so.
Any questions I can answer for you?
I have so many questions. Probably most of them you can't talk about. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's really. This is I think the most, like, it was shocking in July, but what transpired by Christmas time was totally. I didn't see it until Christmas Eve. Picture on the news. What's going on?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is.
I am afraid that they probably aren't alive, but you can always hope that they're being taken care of someplace. And just, I just hope for closure for her parents and her siblings and JG's grandparents and family members.
Yeah, absolutely. It's.
And for Charles' sons, like.
Yeah. Zach and Cole.
They're kind of I think they're kind of the quiet victims of all of this, where it's just terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're directly affected by it, but and Colby too. Like, just really hard to think about all the different people that have been affected by these choices. So I haven't checked for a few weeks. Has it gone to trial?
Her case for the child abandonment is pending preliminary hearing. So
everything's kind of shut down.
Yeah, I think they're aiming for a preliminary hearing on first week of May. So the only good news about the whole COVID thing is it's kind of quieted the media sensation around this.
Was really
So
for that. I was thinking about that the other day. So happy not to have that be on the front page every single night.
yeah, it really, all of this and the way it's transpired is essentially a made-for-TV movie, and it's kind of beyond.
It's beyond comprehension.
It is. It's.
I've known her for so long, and that's why I just say, like, even me, my whole head just spins with all of it. I just can't really believe that any of this has happened, actually. I don't know. I do know she had told me that she had gone after the first incident, that they had her go to some place and do, like, some sort of psychological evaluation.
Yeah.
And she told me, I passed, everything's good. So I reflect on that, trying to, like, understand how this could transpire in the way it did, and not have some sort of underlying mental illness or something happening. So that's something that's been lingering in my head over the last little while.
To intervene, I don't know I know that she did do that back in whenever it was. I don't remember. I think it was February or so. But just so you understand how it works, is their job in a situation like that is to make sure that you're not an immediate danger to yourself or to somebody else. It's not necessarily a psych eval of your sound mind. It's a psych eval to make sure that you are not a danger to society right now. So it's almost an emergency room for psychiatric help. It's not hey, let's sit down and talk about this. Let's explore these views. And there's only from dealing with this in police work, not this case. There are two types. You have the danger to self or others, and then you have people that are persistently and acutely disabled, which they could be and I'm not saying Lori is, I'm just saying, for example, the bipolar person that is off their medication, but they haven't hurt anybody. They're
Which
not
one's a translated being,
currently
bruh?
suicidal or something like that. But that's a much different process than, are you going to hurt yourself or somebody, this week? So it wasn't that there was and I don't know whether there is or not. I'm not weighing in on that, but it's just so you understand the difference of the two. There's two very separate roads that they go down for those type of
That was
things.
very helpful because I just kept
Thank you,
that
Brian.
was all within the same year. I just kept believing
Yeah.
shift and change. But I just kept thinking there has to be something mentally happening.
Thank you so much.
Shifts in someone's mind to be able to orchestrate all sorts of
Orchestrate.
Well, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me, okay?
Oh, it'll take forever, right? Oh, yeah. My app that I was using for my videos, it stopped carrying the music, and then I had to go back and change all my songs and revert, cut them off and all kinds of stuff. So I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? It's the only app I use to ever edit a video and upload it. Anyways, all right. So the next person we'll go to, what do y'all think about Nicole Earl, by the way? Y'all, she rubbed me wrong. Big time. Big time. Now I think it was Trace that said that that she thought that Christina Atwood from Sunday, was more of a liar, lied more. And this one, to me, these people, the way they talk, and that they're capable of carrying their voice. The church isn't that damn patriarchal for you to be standing inside of a witching circle to cast out evil, quote unquote, evil spirits, okay, and praying away people that are your friends. So he didn't ask her much more invasive questions, which is very aggravating and annoying. And definitely the white gloves were used throughout this case. There's no such thing or actually in the Daybell Vallow case, there is interrogations are non-existent. Okay, they don't exist. I think the most aggressive I saw any of the law enforcement with any of the people in this case, it was with Jason Mel, kinda, and I mean kinda. It's like what's going on here? It just wasn't. I don't know. It's annoying. So I want to ask you guys if you want to hey, thank you again, Little Brands. If you want to listen to the 7-minute 19-second audio of Larry and Kay, my mom and my dad. It's an audio where they were talking to Chandler. Let me see. I only have this one pulled up, but I think there's two. But this interview took place shortly after the fatal shooting of Charles Vallow, who was killed on 7/11/2019. Larry and Kay Woodcock had barely learned that Charles died. I want to say, from my memory, it was 7/11. We didn't find out till 7/12. Okay. I told y'all that story. And then 7/13, I remember my parents left Lake Charles and flew to Arizona. So I don't know if y'all want to watch or listen to that real quick, and then we'll go and listen to April Raymond. Or wait, let me see. I have April Raymond's pulled up. I know Lamisa is chomping at the bit for that one. I've actually talked to April. Facebook Messenger. She had messaged me a couple years ago and told me about this guy who was a Mormon who died suspiciously. He went bike riding, and I didn't really get to dive into it that much then or since, but he died mysteriously, Mormon. Okay. And that Chad and Lori may have potentially invested money, right? Follow the money in a nonprofit organization. I want to say, don't quote me on any of this, in Nevada called Ignite, which goes with the rest of their freaking nonprofit organization themes, Ignite, fire, lava, Operation Underground Railroad, nefariousness. So I wonder, I need to check that message. I might have to do that while I'm actually right here and held accountable. Okay. Hold my hand. But, so we'll listen to that audio. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for making my mind up for me, because I need help sometimes. So, okay. All right. So this is courtesy of Justin Lum, okay. All right. And I'm
extremely hard, and Kay is taking it hard. So I asked her, let me pick up the phone and talk to you.
Okay.
Charles was just like a brother to me. Charles was one of the kindest guys you ever met, you ever wanted to meet, and he was the kind of guy that you wanted to be friends with. This is a setup. There is a huge problem, and what we would like to do is, we're here in town, and we flew in this morning early, so we could be here to hopefully be able to talk to you. Lori does not know we're here.
Okay.
And we would like to sit. We would like to sit down with you and discuss this and let you see let you hear the other side to this. And there is so much, and I don't even know how this could even happen, but there is a lot of stuff you really need to know. So I know you're off this weekend, and we're not going to bother you. We're not going to bother you on your days off. My wife and I own our own business. We know what it is to have a day off and to appreciate it. But I was wondering if we could possibly get with you Monday.
Charles, I can, if you guys want. Oh, I'm sorry, Larry. I'm sorry, wrong name. Excuse me very much.
Okay.
Larry, I can gladly make time, and we could sit down tomorrow. I have no issue doing that. I'm supposed to be. I have a family barbecue going on this afternoon, but I have absolutely no problem making time to sit down with you guys and talk person to person. It's very hard as an investigator to know exactly what, I'm walking into a family with a bunch of dynamics that I don't have any understanding of.
Absolutely.
Let me explain to you that that there's a newspaper article out there, and that's I'm sure kind of what you read was what was initially reported to us, but we were in the very beginning of this investigation. So
we understood that, and we anticipated that.
Yeah, this is not something that I'm taking them at their face value and just setting aside. And I say that with hopefully the confidence in what you guys have already expressed to me, that stays between us, because the less that Lori and her brother know, as far as us conducting this investigation in the background, the better.
Yes.
So this is, I have to tell you, it is going to be an uphill battle to reveal the truth in this, because we only have so much scientific evidence, and then we have basically eyewitness testimony to 3 people. So, but it is not an investigation that we're just closing the doors on and walking away and taking it at face value by any means.
Okay. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus.
Third person.
So, in fact,
is it Lori and Al? But who is the third person?
Lori's stepdaughter, Tylee.
Oh shit! All right.
So, and Al is Alexander, I'm assuming, or Alex.
Yeah, I know him as Al.
Okay.
I wouldn't know him if he walked up to him.
Yeah.
He knows that there's been issue in the past with him, with some kind of. Charles told me a while back that Charles told me a few months ago that Al was crazy, that he really did fear him because he said he's crazy. He'll do anything. He said, I put nothing past this man. And he said,
And he's got a history.
and he's got some kind of history. I can't remember exactly what Charles told me, but I swear it had something to do with him shooting Lori's boyfriend years ago. I don't know. Seems like he did time in jail, or I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a 2007 case that we already researched, and I don't know the specifics of the case, but I know that that the case was completed and stuff, and he has the right legally to bear a firearm. Now, as far as the rest of that goes, so it wasn't any serious offense because you don't get your rights restored if you shoot and seriously injure somebody. But I have not reached what he did 10 or 12 years ago is so far in the distance for what I'm focused on right now that it's something that will be looked in on, but it's not something that we've even focused on right now.
Right, it's not the relevant thing. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, look, we are here in town. Lori has no idea that we are in town. We've done that on purpose.
Okay.
Also, well, we'll get with you tomorrow.
Where are you guys staying at?
Where are we staying at?
I don't know.
We hadn't even got a hotel yet.
Okay.
We just flew in, and
If you just call us in the morning, we'll let you know where we are.
Okay.
we got to find a hotel.
Absolutely. So what I'll do is, how about we plan on like 10 or 11 o'clock? Is that okay with you guys?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely. Gives you time to get over your barbecue and us to get a night's sleep. And anyhow, we look forward to working with you to hear another side to the story. And we look forward to meeting you. And obviously, if there is anything that you need in the meantime, you have my phone number, and we answer our phones 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm looking forward to sitting down and talking to you guys. Like I said, I just want you to rest assured that this is not something that we're just going, oh, that's what they said happened, and we're going to take it at face value.
Okay.
So,
and we assumed that, but in trying to get a hold, first of all, trying to find you, and then getting a hold of you, and we know you got days off. So look, we'll expect your call by no later than noon tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And we'll be very happy to meet with you at wherever you need.
Yep, I have every intention of having you and I sitting down face to face by noontime tomorrow.
That'll be great. We look forward to it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. All right. So there's that one. Yeah. I remember that time, y'all, and it just is, woo. That's when my world was shook and rocked to the core. And it never gets easier, That's when I went woke. I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there was no turning back. That crush had died. Because it was on, everything changed. Just everything in my life prioritized itself. It was like, oh, okay, family is important. Okay, you do this in this order, and I don't know. I can't explain it. Hopefully nobody else has to experience that, but let's be honest.
January 7th, 2020. It's approximately 11:54 a.m.
Back in the day when I did this. April Raymond. I need to change my thumbnail. Re-upload.
Hello,
Hi, can I speak with April, please?
this is she.
Hi, April. My name's Cassandra Inclon. I am a detective with Chandler PD in Arizona. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. Today's my Monday, but getting back into it. Hopefully I'm not bothering you too much by calling you.
Oh, I mean, let's
No,
not be
no.
inconvenient.
Do you have any idea why I might be calling you?
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea.
Okay. Do you have a couple minutes maybe just to talk real quick on the phone?
I do.
Okay. So I work in our persons crime section for Chandler PD, and there's a kind of an ongoing case, obviously, involving quite a few different agencies and detectives, and going through lists and different things to do. I'm trying to reach out to people that either have known or know Lori Vallow. So it looks like you are friends with her, or kind of an associate of hers from back in Hawaii, it looks like.
Yes, so we were friends in Hawaii, and we stayed in contact after she moved back to Arizona. And in fact, when Charles originally started his divorce proceedings last February, she came to Kauai, and she and Tylee stayed with me in my home.
Okay. So, and I know a lot of this, so it's kind of, I'm just trying to confirm just to make sure.
Sure.
Because she had lived in Hawaii originally with Charles and children, and that was when you got to know her or got to become friends with her?
That's when we first met, yes.
Okay. And then, so when she, this past February, obviously, her and Tylee came back to Hawaii when her marriage with Charles, obviously the dynamics changed a little bit, and she had stayed with you.
Right.
Do you know about how long she stayed with you?
It was less than a week, and then she moved into Kauai Beach Resort, which is it's a hotel, but it also has like privately owned vacation rentals. So I don't know if she was paying like by the night or if someone was letting her stay in like their vacation rental that they owned or
like
something.
Like a VRBO type thing?
Yeah, because she was there for almost 30 days.
Okay. And then do you know where she went after that?
She kind of went all over. As far as I know, I don't know. I mean, we were in communication, but now that looking back, I don't know how truthful her communication was with me. But she was kind of moving around all over. So I know that she went to Texas for a time. She was in Arizona. And I didn't even know that she had lived at all in Idaho. I knew she had gone there to do some like podcasts or conventions, but I had no idea she even was living there. The last time I had any communication with her was like maybe 5 days before Charles died.
Okay. So that's 5 days before the case in Chandler, obviously.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell me about her? Like, I've just so you know, I've met her. I interviewed her the day that Charles died, and so I've had some communication with her. So she's not like, it's not like I've never met her, never talked to her, or been around her. Obviously, you know, I'm reaching out trying to get a better kind of feel of what was going on with her and different things like that.
So, you know, up until she came out in February, she was one way. She was very productive. She was a really good mom. She was very helpful to everyone. We served in our church together, and we were great friends. You know, I trusted her with my children. I trusted Charles with my children. We would get together for Christmas and different holidays. So we were very close. But when she came in February, she was very different. And I didn't really understand what was going on. I thought that maybe it was just kind of, you know, I've gone through a divorce and you kind of get a little loopy, you know, I thought maybe she was having a midlife crisis, or I didn't know what was going on. But she was saying a lot of the same things to me that I guess have been reported that Charles said, where she's one of the 144,000, and she had made comments about Charles already being dead, and that there was a demon living inside of him. And so I just thought she just snapped. You know, she's midlife crisis. She's gonna just let it play out. She's just got to go through this. I didn't feel like she was dangerous in any way. I didn't feel afraid of her in any way. I just thought she was acting really bizarre.
Okay.
So I didn't know if she was on something, or I didn't know what was going on, but she was
Have you ever known her to be on something?
And then when I got word that Charles had died, I completely pulled away, because it was just really eerie, you know, remembering the conversations that we had in February where she said he's already dead. And then now that everything else is unfolded, it's even, to me, it's more alarming. I'm hoping that there's another explanation, but I'm not sure at this point.
Have you, so the last contact obviously was before Charles, and I don't know, do you still live in Hawaii, or do you live somewhere different now?
I live in Utah, so I moved to Utah in June of 2019.
And have you heard where Lori might be right now?
I've heard that she's on Kauai as of a week ago Saturday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He was on court
Any
TV.
idea where? Or
she went to the medical clinic in Princeville.
The urgent care?
Yes.
The urgent care, yeah. The Makana, I think it's called Makana something urgent care. And so she was seen there with Chad.
Okay.
But she was using a different name. And then the address she used was a home that a friend of ours had rented.
Okay, so she's using a different name and then using...
Yeah, so I don't know where she's staying. I'm assuming she's in Princeville. She went to the urgent care in Princeville.
Chad had a boo-boo,
but where
maybe?
exactly, I don't know.
Or were they getting
and then,
medicine? You know, I wonder.
So you've been around back when they lived there initially. You've obviously been around JJ. And
of course.
And kind of know, you know, everything going on with him and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. Has she ever mentioned, I know obviously not to put words in your mouth, but imagine it would be extremely creepy to have somebody talk about somebody's death before it happened and then it happened.
Yeah.
Has she ever talked about anything else as far as Tylee or Tylee's father or anything like that?
Well, when Tylee's father passed away, she had come out to stay. That was another time she came to stay and visit with me. It was right after Joe had died.
Okay.
And I know a little bit about the situation, but now I'm kind of going through everything that happened and was said, and it's kind of, I'm having a totally different impression of what happened. My understanding.
Okay, can I tell y'all what I had heard? And I mean, I think Lauren finally shared it one day. I was like, well, damn, I didn't know it was shareable yet. You know. Anyways, because my mom and dad had told me this early on, that initially, and this is what April Raymond said allegedly. So initially, the word on the street was that Lori, she didn't say anything about Chad when she dipped off to Hawaii those couple months, you know, when she left. She went with Tylee for a little bit, and then Tylee went and stayed with Alex. Okay. And the whole thing was that was said was that Lori didn't talk about Chad at all. In fact, she talked about Jason Mal. And so interesting, right? And then another thing was, I don't know if April Raymond was divorced at this time or if she was just divorced, but it was something like, Lori was breaking girl code basically and kind of just fishing. And so April Raymond's husband was available, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I mean, that was the word on the streets. So it's interesting that it shifted, or I don't know, or maybe April's the only person that never heard of Chad, from Lori's mouth. But so that would be interesting too, because I think she says something, I don't know if it's here or wherever. So I'm sorry if I'm jumbling things up. I'm not trying to, but it was said somewhere that Lori showed I want to say Dateline maybe. Lori showed with all the papers, of who people were in the past life, and Oprah Winfrey was on there, remember? And so, I mean, if they came from Chad and not Jason Mao, why, like, why would Lori not mention Jason Mao? I mean, Chad Daybell, and mention Jason Mao instead? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on there? So we'll get some more clarity. It's not a long interview. It's 1846 total, and that's probably with my outro.
Understanding, if I remember correctly, what she told me is that they hadn't heard from Joe for about a month.
Okay.
And so she and Tylee went over to check on him or to see him, because I guess Tylee had a key or something. And when they went there, they had found him dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he'd been dead for like a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks or something.
Okay. Did she say anything about kind of the stuff that was going on with her and Joe at the time?
I knew their history, and I don't know how much of what she told me is actually what happened.
Okay.
But I know they had a really volatile relationship as far as custody of Tylee.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, as far as what she told me, there were some pretty serious allegations against Joe, that she claimed he had molested Tylee and Colby.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her motivation for keeping Tylee away from him and wanting full custody.
Okay. Did she ever mention anything about Joe's actual death, though?
No, just said that they didn't know. They figured he had a heart attack in his sleep or something.
Okay. So there's a statement that is kind of floating around that a couple people that knew Lori in Hawaii have kind of relayed that after the fact, after Joe had passed away, that she had made statements that her brother had something to do with it.
That I never heard. I know that before they even moved to Kauai, the original time,
Mm-hmm.
that Alex had attacked Joe. I think he shot him or something.
In Texas?
Taser.
And yeah, I think it might have been in Arizona. I'm not sure where it was.
Okay.
Texas.
But I knew that, and I knew Alex as well.
Okay.
And so Alex had told me the same thing, that when he, because he was on board thinking that, this was a child predator, and he says that he snapped and that he shot Joe. But my understanding is he shot it in kind of a public place.
Yeah, so that was an incident that did happen in Texas.
Child custody.
Okay, so we know about that one. But there's kind of this statement floating around that Lori had made some statements to people in Hawaii that after Joe had actually died, that her brother had something to do with Joe's actual death, not the incident before.
Before that. No, she never said anything like that to me. And I had talked to Alex, after Joe had died, and he never mentioned.
Okay.
Neither of them mentioned anything like that.
Anything like that. So, I mean, this is going to sound kind of silly to ask you like this, but obviously, like, you've met them and you kind of know them. What do you think? Do you have any idea where, like, these kids might be, or what is going on with her, or any kind of insight that you might be able to offer?
Like, originally, in the very beginning, I just thought that maybe she didn't want to lose custody of JJ.
Uh-huh.
And so because of what happened to Charles, and now that it's kind of being questioned, maybe she's afraid of losing custody of JJ. And so she's kind of hiding him so no one can get to him. That was my initial thought.
Right.
Initially, she didn't have him. She didn't want him.
But now I'm not sure, especially finding out that she's not keeping in contact with Colby, which is really unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when she was staying with me, when she left Charles, she would talk to Colby every day at my home.
Okay.
So that's really unusual to me. It's unusual to me that she's with this Chad guy. It doesn't seem like the type of person she's usually interested in. It just sounds like whatever I was seeing in February, where she's having these kind of delusions of grandeur, it's almost like they're magnified. And so I honestly don't know at this point what's going on. It just seems like she's kind of lost it.
Right. Would you?
Oh, I just saw this comment. I got to share with you so I can move on. But it says, somebody commented this. They said, I mean, when I looked up Alex Cox as a keyword in my Google Photos, okay, so who knows? Is Alex Cox the first serial killer to allow his sister to determine his victims? It's like a serial killer with a manager. Oh my gosh, right? Can you imagine?
Can you think of anybody else that she might have been close to, or anybody else that she might speak with? Obviously, you know, Colby, us and other detectives had a lot of contact with him and stuff. But as far as anybody else that is in kind of her circle, somebody that we can reach out to and talk to?
I don't know if you've talked to Melanie Gibb. That would be a key person to talk to.
Okay.
Because she was involved in a lot of the things that they kind of did to Charles, as far as like taking his things and moving his truck and almost goading him a little bit before she came to Hawaii.
Okay.
So Melanie was saying that Melanie has drank the Kool-Aid too, because when she was in Kauai, because she came to Kauai at one point when Lori was out there, and she was saying the same thing, that Charles is dead. There's a demon inside of Charles, and it was just too bananas for me.
Right.
You know. But Melanie would be a key person. I don't know if you've talked to Angeline Law.
I actually have her on my list to call next.
Yeah, that's another person I would talk to.
Okay.
And then I don't know, let's see, well, I'm sure you've talked to Annie Elison.
I have, yes.
Yeah. Other than Angeline, I can't really think of anybody. I know that she kind of had a new circle of friends when she brought Melanie over. It was a lot of people from their group.
Okay. When you guys were in Hawaii?
When she came out in February.
Okay.
But like this group of friends. And so there were a few times where she did some group texts and included me, and was all these other women that her and Melanie have a following or something. But Zulema was one.
Yeah, and she's been spoke to. I don't know if you know this, but Alex, Lori's brother, actually married her, Zulema.
I did hear that. Hear that. That was really surprising.
What do you think about that?
It sounds like that they had known each other a really long time, but that was a very kind of sudden thing that came on.
Oh, see, the first time I ever even heard of Zulema was in February.
Okay.
But I didn't know Alex as well as Lori.
Okay.
But I had never heard of Zulema before February.
Okay, and we're trying to kind of filter out. There's obviously there's a lot going on here, and we're trying to filter out what is actual legitimate information and what's kind of getting thrown around, you know.
You're investigating. You ain't got to
I don't know, smoke screen. I don't know what a better way to say it would be.
Yeah, like a distraction. Yeah.
Anything else that I didn't ask about? Anything that you think might be important, or anything?
Not that I can think of. I mean, so much comes to mind, but not that might even is not necessarily relevant.
Okay.
But if you come across something and you need to talk again, I'm happy to talk again.
Okay, perfect. That would be great. And do you, and I apologize because I'm not sure, do you go by Raymond or Bean is your last name?
I go by Raymond. I still go by Raymond.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
Prominent.
And then April, what's your date of birth? Okay. Perfect. And if you don't mind, I actually am going to do that. I'm going to keep your number handy, and kind of if anything comes up, I'd like to kind of run it past you just to see if it sounds reasonable or accurate or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry to call and bother you. And
no, I'm happy to help in any way. We just want to find Tylee and JJ, or just find out what's happened.
That is
Whoa.
exactly why there's a lot of us working on this. So, you know, cautiously optimistic, but we'll see where we kind of go with this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Bye.
Of course. Take care. Bye-bye.
Toodles, right? Huggy Bear. That is. Oh, her eyes turned black. I was like, what? Whoa. Thank you for sharing that with us. Gathering Humanity received $506,441 in taxpayer dollars for 2023. Tim Ballard received over $600,000. Was that just one of his nonprofit organizations? Because I did watch that video you shared with me. With him, you said he's clenching, and I watched it and I was like, oh man, I don't understand none of this. But that guy called Tim Ballard out. I was like, oh, he was like, what about, you're the only one getting paid from the Nazarene fund, and y'all got money from USAID or whatever you said. I don't know. And anyways, I was like, holy crap. Thank you for sharing that with me, by the way, because it was good. But just something, just the way it feels, the way it seems through 6 years of researching, guys, 6 years. I'm not new at this. Okay. It's like I study these people, all their freaking habits, their mannerisms, their damn dog whistles. Okay. Like the one person you probably don't want to hang around because I'm always going to bring it up. Okay. I'm like a plunger bringing up old crap. And, my God. And the new stuff like that, I'm just like, oh, when they started in 2016, Gathering Humanity, what was going on? Is this the church's way? If the church is backing these people, because actually they get 10%, right? I mean, think about it. Proselytize and monetize. I told y'all that my aunt's murders uncovered a global conspiracy that I was like, what? What? What was I used to be the person that didn't watch news, remember? So it was yeah. Anyways, so you know, anytime someone says that they're ushering in the second coming, or they're doing whatever for the second coming, like Spring Thibodeau and her brother did, and so there's so many others like this, okay? Something is going on. Something is gone awry over there in the temple. And I just want to know what it is. Again, so I can pinpoint it, acknowledge it, and point it out and expose it and get some sunshine in here, you know. We're closer now than we ever were, Lamisa, that's for sure. I just was hoping to have more of it uncovered, by after Lori's trial in March. It starts March 31st. I want to it makes me also feel more secure, kind of like Uncle Charles did. He told everybody. I want to tell everybody, okay? Like it as an insurance policy in a sense. Whenever after a trial, okay, we're going on our third one. So already 2 times interest has died down in both times, okay? So that's a little intimidating. I noticed it with Colby too the other day. I could tell, and maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, but just from going through this too, it's like you don't know what to do. You feel like you're rushed, or like you're pressured with the trial coming up. And I remember Colby saying something like, oh, we got plenty to talk about. We got plenty, it's like, cause this is this is my counseling. This is my talk therapy. This is my way of processing all my thoughts, all my feelings, all my things about my family and everything. And so you feel like that's going to be gone. And that's a little scary if you think about that, that's how, anyways, it's just unsure and very unsettling feeling when you're just trying to kind of come into your own grief, in your own processing, it's nuts. Girl, I ain't took a break since 6 years ago. How old was I? I was what, 40? 40? I was 40 when I started. And so I have not taken a break in this. I have researched every single day unless I was sleeping. So yeah, that's so sad. When you think about that, it's like, oh my God, obsessed, you know. Hey, I have addictive personality disorder. No, I'm pretty sure I do. But all it does, I don't think you ever quite lose that. I think you just kind of morph into something else, So instead of doing bad things, I try to be more constructive with it. But here I am not taking breaks and stuff. And it's raining really hard. So, but thank you. I would love to have a life. I don't even know what I like anymore. I know what I used to like. I know a lot of things about this case. I have thought about going back to school and crap, I already forgot the name of it. See, I don't even need to go be it because I can't remember the damn name. Oh my gosh, they work in an attorney's office. They do all the real work, researching cases and stuff like that because I don't know. Y'all come up with the word because you know it and I don't. I don't. I'll sit here and fumble. So I'm going to look for, what do we want to play today? Let's see. We have April Raymond, this one, which is from Lori's trial. I don't think I want to go. Yeah, not another 36 minutes, but oh, you're not even seeing it. Hello. A paralegal. I just saw your law clerk, legal assistant, and a paralegal. Yeah, paralegal, Marjorie. Yeah, and Ravina, and Melissa, and Lamisa. And thank you, Chris. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you so much, Chris. You don't have to do this, but thank you. It means a lot. It's definitely helping, yeah, it's a little scary. This is a family as far as I'm concerned, and we're in it for it. This is a damn family, right? I love our family. I do. That too. It helps answer many questions and hopefully helps others in prevention. Yeah. No, it's nuts. It's so hard to come up with a plan or let's say for uh whatever purposes. It's hard to, like, let's say you have to come up with a mission statement when you don't really quite know what it is that you're looking at. That's what the last 6 years for me has been. Well, more of the last 5 years, and well, it gradually became more and more clearer because this is much larger than just Chad and Lori. This isn't just a one-time happenstance like a lot of people have led people to believe in the mainstream media. And I mean, this branches out so far and so wide. It's a pandemic. Or whatever. It's an epidemic. It's a problem. And it's not just me. It's not my problem. It's our problem because holy crap. There's nothing wrong with exposure. There's nothing wrong with just unchecked beliefs. That's a lot of the story is unchecked beliefs. Just taking people at their word, not seeing something and not saying something. That's huge, huge. If any one of these people would have just called because they saw something, I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine? You know? And it's a lot of these cases like Harmony Montgomery. That was horrible. There's a lot more of these cases. There's a lot more of these victims, and children are all our business, in my opinion. Children don't have, they're not old enough to consent. They're not old enough to know any better. I mean, if they're born and raised in this environment or any kind of abusive environment, They don't know. That's just life, you know? So, I mean, I think that we all have to be our brother's keeper, not just our Mormon brother's keeper, but we're human. We're human. We're humanity is what I'm trying to say. And we're just humaning, and that's to be our brother's keeper, whether we're black, white, Puerto Rican, yellow, green, whatever, you know. I don't see us like that. I see this like, okay, that's my fellow human. I don't need to be a D-head, you know? um, just and it's not to be a rat or to snitch on somebody. It's just like, that kid can't speak up for himself or herself. And at least at least we tried. We saw something, we said something. There's not much more we can do above that. There's a lot of people who down my parents even for, "Oh, I would have done anything." Well, no shit. Knowing what you know now, you damn Skippy. And I don't think that any of us would have had a problem going and then getting locked up for kidnapping or anything. You understand what I'm saying? But we didn't know any of this. It was, and I want to put this straight too, because this often gets put this way or phrased this way. Mom and Larry did not approach Lori and Charles and ask them to adopt JJ. That's their grandson. Okay. Lori and Charles approached my uncle. Lori and Charles approached my parents, and they had already, Charles and Cheryl had already adopted within the family before. Cole is actually my cousin. It's her. She got pregnant when she was a teenager, and Charles and Cheryl adopted Cole. Okay. I was there. Not the day they adopted him, but when Daisy had him. And anyway, so, and Charles and Cheryl, they took pictures and whatever. And so it was a successful family adoption. And this is back whenever my uncle and Cheryl they couldn't have kids. Like, they were trying and trying and trying. And then, it gets really deep after that, but, because Uncle Charles does have one biological son, but they're all his boys, He loved Tylee. Okay. I believe that Lori pitted these victims, her family, her kids. I think that she pitted everyone in her life against one another. So, come on. Can you imagine living in it's just chaos, And then I'm not excusing anybody, okay? Because I wasn't there. You weren't there. We weren't there, okay? So all I can do is just kind of try to make sense of it. It baffles me a lot, and I'm very curious as to why my Uncle Charles jumped from basically the one frying pan into another, because my grandfather was pretty extremo, and he was Catholic. I told y'all he went and studied in Rome. And there's a picture of him shaking hands with the Pope. And so, he read the Bible like 3 times before he was 9 years old, yada, yada. Just all the things, Now, I know there was a rift between my pawpaw, Vallow, and Charles. And that's that deep part I was telling you about. And so there was a time when they didn't talk. Okay. But, they still would talk, but not be close. Maybe boundaries would be a better word. Uncle Charles always lived away from Lake Charles. So, and I didn't fly because, I had another uncle that died in a plane crash in 2001. And it freaked me out. These are things that I've not dealt with. Okay. And so I wouldn't fly. I wouldn't go anywhere. And my mom would be like, "Wherever you want to go. You want to go to Italy? Yeah. Yeah. I'll fly. Well, I'll pay." And I'm just like, "No, thank you." Okay. No, thank you. Then the one time, actually, it was my second time going in a plane. Me and Mom went to Vegas. I don't gamble. Um, and she likes to play, and I don't. And so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna stay in the room and watch LSU play, or I'm gonna watch the Saints play the next day. Right. It rained 4 days, 3 days out of the 4 that we were there. And then we went to Planet Hollywood and straight up ran into Lori and Charles accidentally. That was so strange. Like, looking back, especially, it's like, holy crap, that was odd. I mean, I want to say it was a business trip. I don't know. I've slept since then for sure, but I took pictures with them. Um, and I mean, looking back with everything that has gone on, everything that took place, all the pain, all this crap, all the trial and all the details of just a very insecure and narcissistic woman who wanted to get her way. She wanted her cake and she wanted to eat it too. She wanted to be married, just not to Charles. She wanted to be married, just not to Joe. She's not happy with herself. She didn't want to be, she wanted to be married, but not to Colby's dad once he didn't fit her anymore. It's like they go in thinking they can fix people or uh, something weird, maybe that's that whole healing thing. I don't freaking know, when they can't even save themselves. And I just believe that Lori grew up in a toxic enmeshed family, and it was volatile. It seems, I don't know, because again, I wasn't there, but yeah, she was always like this. Nobody paid attention because she's a seductress. I didn't live near them. Like I said, I didn't go there, but she came, Uncle Charles, Tylee, JJ, Colby, the boys came, like they would not all come in at one time, but sometimes they did, but sometimes they didn't. The last really good time that I remember my Uncle Charles coming in with Lori, but I remember my Uncle Charles more. It was in 2016, and he had just found the show Breaking Bad. And I had already, I watched it from the very beginning, which is unusual because I usually don't watch shows, until way later after they're not popular anymore. And he was like, oh my God, he had what's his name? Eisenhower. Oh my God, Heisenberg. He had a Heisenberg shirt on, and he was like, he just wanted to talk about that. He was like, that dude is crazy, and he was just real animated and real Uncle Charles. He was just being Uncle Charles, but he was in good spirits. He was, I don't mean that good spirits. That was kind of punny, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? He was, I don't know, it was light. And I remember whenever they adopted JJ, I was against it. I was totally against it. And I got mad at my mom even, and kind of didn't go around for a hot minute, but because I was like, we can do this. We got this, it's my only nephew, my only chance at ever being an aunt. I don't have any others. I have step nieces and nephews, luckily, but Jason doesn't have any. And anyways, my brother, JJ, was born to my brother and his girlfriend, Mandy. They were in a long-term relationship, but they were very toxic for one another. And of course they did drugs. We know how that turned out. Todd was arrested, I want to say the day after JJ was born, but it was on old charges, which is sad. Okay. Because he wasn't doing anything in that moment. He, it sucks because you never know what could have been. I don't think my brother would have murdered him, his son. Okay. I'm not saying I don't know what kind of life it would have been. It's just one of those things where you let go and you let God. And it just is what it is because that's what it is. It's because people are selfish and and they use their children and everything around them as pawns because they are just so trying to fill a void in themselves that they use people for pawns. Everything's about money. Everything's about trying to fill that hole that is there. I also think that Lori was raised in a satanic ritual abuse home, similar to, maybe not similar to the Hamblins. I don't know, because Janice and Summer and Adam and Barry, anybody, the Cox family that's left besides Megan, nobody everything's great. Everything's fine. There's nothing. Everything's just very surface deep. And so you get nothing, but everything's great. And that's just a big crock of shit because not everything is great. Not everything is fine. That is a lie. Okay. And it's maybe a lie that has to be told to oneself in order to cope. I don't know, or deal. I have no idea. But I believe that's why Alex was her protector. There's these words, these terms that are used within the satanic ritual abuse arena, especially the Hamblin case, which is a Mormon arena. And I believe that Chad and Lori they belong to this SRA case that was all the rage back in the 1980s and 1990s. The victims that came forward to confess and try to get help from the church, but the church sent Glenn Pace, a general authority, to go and investigate, and he did like 60 interviews with 60 victims. He had to pace himself because he could have done more. There were like 180 people, and he claimed that, and he was just guesstimating. A lot of people blow things out of the water, and they're like, oh yeah, like, it's not a satanic panic. It's a label that was slapped on horrible, severe child abuse cases. Okay. And that allowed this to continue on until, in my opinion, 2019, whenever Charles was murdered, Tylee, JJ, Tammy, all the people. Okay. It's just a continuation, in my opinion, of a problem that was never taken care of back in the 1990s when Bishop Glenn Pace issued the memo. No, he didn't issue the memo. My bad. He turned his report in to his leadership brethren, the leaders of the church, and it was never intended to be seen by the public. You, me, none of us. Okay, so it's not like Bishop Glenn Pace was trying to sway anybody. He was just reporting back like he was assigned to do to the brethren, and it was not dealt with. Tom Harrison at the time, the therapist, it's been said that he was actually trying to convince the brethren, because he has, connection and can see them. Okay. Anyways, he was trying to convince them to accept or acknowledge satanic ritual abuse as a real phenomenon, whatever that means. And so obviously they didn't go that way. And I mean, I have my opinions as to why it's not. I mean, Russell Nelson, his daughter and son-in-law, were accused of having, or being holding these touch parties allegedly, and just nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. And that is why we have this raging ass problem still to this day. This is why we have Ruby Frankie, Jody Hildebrandt, David Hamblin, Lori and Chad, and I'm sure a lot more of these egregious cases. But Bishop Glenn Pace had mentioned that there were about 800. Okay, that's quite a bit of these practicing Satanists that they had to hold dual membership within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as well as the LDS Church of Satan. Okay. They had to hold dual membership. And so they had to be amongst the good saints too. Right. And that's their little infiltration. Okay. Well, 800, they have a lot of kids, if you think about it, that's a lot of families. That was back in 1990. So do just a little basic, simple math there. And that's quite a bit of some inverted people, I'd say. So when we question ourselves and wonder why we have the Shanna Gardners, Ruby, Jody, Pam, I mean, because it's not just the ones that are highlighted, in the media. It's all the ones in and around these circles. It's the Christina Atwoods, the Nicole Earls, all these people, in my opinion. So that's just me. I don't know. It just seems very common sense. It's not a far stretch to say that, Carolina, it's not a far stretch to say that this group still exists because it was never dealt with back then. And that the church acknowledged the fact of this, and they made statements, but they don't make statements anymore because, no answer is also an answer to me. When you say nothing, silence speaks volumes, especially when Tylee Tylee and JJ were missing. And for a church that claims to have 16 million members worldwide, not one time did they want to help two of their little lambs. Okay. To me, I was just like, what is that? Why are they not doing that? That to me was the most wake up call ever. And I also found it interesting that the church involved itself throughout the judicial process of Lori, for sure, Chad too, because they were joined together. And it's just interesting that when Lori was deemed incompetent, and then this is just me and my conspiracy theory. This is my conspiracy theory for sure. I do believe that the mental health technician that was overseeing Lori and her trying to gain her mental competence back. I don't think Lori was ever mentally incompetent. I think that she was maybe starting to blab a little bit too much. And so she was deemed incompetent and made to stay in a state hospital that just happened to be the one in Blackfoot, which, there's the Mormon church used to own those facilities. And I think maybe by extension, because, they're always shell companies, or they're always front companies that aren't directly tied to the church, because they're not dumb. They're not dumb. They got to save their money for the second coming of Jesus Christ, don't you know? Or a rainy day fund, or a fire. What's the other one? A fire insurance or something. Anyways, so I just find it interesting that the mental health technician on October 5th, 2021, actually sat with Lori, allegedly, according to Lori. Now, how much do we believe her? But, just saying. October 5th, 2021 is the first time I ever streamed live, and I streamed Chad Daybell's hearing. Lori and her mental health technician allegedly watched the hearing, which is interesting, right? And then Lori alleged that the mental health technician actually assigned Lori homework to call and look for a new attorney or something. Whatever, allegedly. And so Lori allegedly calls Curtin and McConkie. Curtin and McConkie, they're like, hello, hotline that's only here for the church bishops and everything. We're here to serve us, not any kind of victim. Okay. So in my opinion, no, not in my opinion too, but Lori ends up talking to none other than Daniel McConkie. And you're just like, what? How the hell did she do that? I mean, I'm just saying, I think it was maybe like mental health technician allegedly would have had to have passed a number to Lori. Lori gets patched through right to Daniel McConkie, allegedly. And then, bada bing, bada boom, Mark Means is slapped with a gag order, and he's thrown off the case, disqualified, which he should have been, right? I don't disagree with that. I just like transparency, and I don't like corruption. If you have a good case, you don't need any any fracas, okay? You don't need that. You don't need it, because you're solid. Your investigation is solid. Everything's solid. You're good. You got the guy. You just need to convict him, right? That's how I look at it. Well, so weird that Curtin McConkie talked to Rob Wood, but not the defense attorney, which would have been Mark Means or even John Pryor. Okay. So, and I did question, I reached out to Mark Means during Lori's trial. I mean, I was like, I just got to know, what can he do? He can either not say anything. He don't have to answer me. And I even told him, I was like, don't tell me nothing about the case. Just, I'm telling you what I'm doing. You tell me if I'm hot, cold, or whatever. Okay. And he was like, you're really on to something. I was like, okay. I was like, I think she's in a secret Sam society. Okay. Okay. I think there were more people that attended both kids' murders. It's a gathering. That's what they call it. And these nonprofit organizations, they are just a front and to give them alibis. In my opinion, I'm just saying, not a far stretch. I mean, they do say that secret societies are in plain sight, yet they're so elusive, and it's because we have naysayers all the time who are slapping labels on things, 3-letter government agencies, and I use my common sense, y'all. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. No, I never was, but I landed in a global one, and I'm just like, what in the F is this? I mean, it's not like I sought it out. It was like, oh, ooh. I just set out to find out where Chad and Lori's beliefs differed from the church. I wanted to know why they were calling them a cult and a cult leader, but yet there's no cult. Okay. That's called named and unnamed co-conspirators. Where's the rest of them? Please. We're waiting. It's not going to happen in Arizona because that they don't. I'll have to go look at the indictment again, or the probable cause, the papers, to kind of see what they do say. I don't think they say co-conspirators named and unnamed. Hell, they wouldn't even charge Chad Daybell because not likely of a conviction. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do? So, anyways, I just think it's interesting that, Jim Archibald and John Thomas ended up being the attorneys before Lori was even indicted, by the way. She got death penalty attorneys, yet she didn't get the death penalty because prosecution turned in information or a discovery over that would have contained like 5,000 or something. I don't know, a lot of information from the FBI, and I was like, oh my God. And so, because for the first time and the only time, prosecution, we turned it in a day late, or what, after 5:30 or something. It was something stupid. It was like a technicality. And so they're like, defense, prosecution, we're going to punish you. Okay. We're going to punish you. And so we're going to take the death penalty off the table, young lady. It's like, okay, huh? That was so weird because I agree with Julie, what's her face on, Julie Grant on Court TV. Her ass should have been and got the death penalty like they sought out to do. But yet they go ahead and turn around, disqualify her attorney, who should have been disqualified because he was representing at one time at least both Lori and Chad. And then she gets the 2 death penalty attorneys. Then Kohberger happens. Kohberger gets Ann Thomas. That was the next one on the roster. And that was qualified. But yet Lori wasn't charged or indicted yet because, remember, she went to the mental hospital. So, I mean, it's just odd. These are just things that you notice in your periphery. I don't know what the hell they are. I'm just going through this just like you guys. And I'm not a legal expert. But again, I'm not dumb. I might be slow. I might be late, but I'm not dumb. Okay. I'm just like, that doesn't seem right. And I'm not trying to poke. I'm just like, that's weird. If you have a good, solid investigation, integrity means the world to me. You don't smear, people don't make a name that way. They don't make their reputation that way. They don't get elected with a bad reputation and a smeared, reputation, and so people, these officers, and I mean, God bless them. It's like half of me, I have to like compartmentalize, because half of me, I mean, I just am like, oh my God, what they had to see, nobody should have ever had to see. Nobody should have ever had to investigate or know or learn. Nobody should have had to see these kids this way, or any dead kid that way. Okay, let's just get that out there. But there's corruption everywhere. Okay, could be one bad seed, could be 10. They could be in a brotherhood together. They might go to the same church, but they also might be in the same brotherhood together. It's not so much a cult, but there are fraternal orders. They do exist. They exist in plain sight, and I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb. So, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Yeah, I know that too. And then again, corruption. When I was researching into the death penalty and how Idaho just is so not at all above they're not ethical at all, in my opinion. Like Gerald Pizzuto, that case right there. And I mean, how I forget what case. I think it might be Gerald Pizzuto's case on death row. And it's alleged out there. It's alleged that Idaho officials showed up in off an airplane, off a flight, with a suitcase full of money to pick up and obtain the chemicals in order to carry out said death penalty. And I'm just like, that's just nasty right there. If you can't do it the right way, don't do it at all. But it is funny how Chad Daybell gets the death penalty and then Kohberger happens. And I'm like, yeah, that's why they're implementing that. But then if you go along with the Mormon theme, the blood atonement thing, then that kind of counts as blood atonement. Depends on who the executor is, who's shooting the pow. It's just a whole messed up world, y'all. We do have a very broken system, that we're all trying to. Some of us have been caught up in it ourselves, whether it's a speeding ticket or jaywalking or a freaking capital offense. Okay, my brother's in prison. His son was murdered by a murderer. A slew of them, in my opinion, a bunch of gatherers, and yet, it's so crazy how Lori called JJ her drug baby, and because my brother and his girlfriend Mandy were on drugs, and yet whenever mom was reading her victim impact statements, she's like, Lori, Todd forgives you. And I know he does because he told me, and he does. And it's not to say what she did was right, but that's the mother, the adoptive mother of his son that he didn't get to raise. Okay. And she murdered him. He forgave her because isn't that strange how them drug addicts, just have a lot more Jesus in them than these churchgoers with their snubbed up noses and shit, exalted and stuff. Some Loris out there. I know y'all do. That's some church ladies. Remember the church lady on Saturday? Was it Saturday Night Live? Yeah. Ah, yeah. Satan, right? I'm just saying, it's like, yeah, so I don't even know if Chad Daybell is grandfathered in there or not. Like, I don't know because it was like after, but I'll have to go look at the guidelines unless that would be interesting to know just the technicalities of it. Will he get firing squad? Will he, whatever, will he get some, chemicals obtained by a suitcase full of cash or what? It's like the damn Wild West over here, straight up. Yeah. I'm sorry. I've been trying to like just keep my train of thought. So I have not been able to. I've kind of noticed your comments, but yeah. Well, oh man. It's nuts. It just is really, this is the most crazy experience to ever go through. And then it's my aunt on top of that, not to mention Todd, Lori shot his uncle too. So it's like, I just find it interesting, Yes, they are. Or you can feel the Mormon word right there with all of them, all the mainstream. It really sucks from this side of it, this side of things. I'm not here to tear down anybody's beliefs. I'm just here to get to the bottom of some stuff. And sometimes, you have to kind of I had to separate myself from, okay, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I also really want to get to the bottom of this. And these people are saying nothing's happening. We don't teach that here. We don't have the 144,000. We don't have the Church of the Firstborn. And yet, yeah, you do, it was so confusing. And so like, if I were the police and an investigator or whatever, and I was trying to investigate this case, that would have been obstruction of justice to me because it obstructed and took a lot of precious time because I was just like, what? For somebody who didn't, I was just a layman, basically. I knew just basic tenets of Christianity, period, besides going to catechism, I apparently blocked it out because I don't remember crap. I was just like, that's boring. Catechism is boring. Okay. It was the same thing every damn year, every year. So that was just my experience. That's not everybody else's. And I'm not putting anybody down, but I'm also like, Jesus and Satan are not brothers. Okay. In my opinion, allegedly. We don't know. You weren't there. Nobody was there. Okay. So nobody knows. So nobody gets to weaponize anything and then use it against people to shame them and guilt them and then push them away from God and the church at the same time, because when they leave the church, they leave God too, most likely. A lot of times. And that's just shitty, and that's kind of, in my opinion, how Satan works, right? It's just to slowly, drop by drop, manipulate and whatever. Again, I can't prove it. I don't know, but whatever source is, whatever, it resonates with me. It resonates with my soul. I don't know what that looks like, nor do I try to push that on anybody else. Just be a good person. And then if you mess up, do better. That's all we can do. That's it. So it's like, all right. Anyways, I know we didn't go over what I said we were going to go over because I sat on the soapbox for a minute, but I appreciate y'all for letting me do that. We'll go over this soon because it's a good transcript, at least. Let me fix this to go over it. Wait, let me look. Yeah, we're at 2:35, trying to be under 3. But and it says here was Prosecutor Lindsay Blake. And so by the time we have this next time, I'll have these links filled in. Like right there, I'll put the link where she says money, power, and sex. That's what this case is about. It didn't matter what obstacles she had to remove to get what she wanted. And if it was a person, it didn't matter who, right? Y'all remember that? Even though everybody misspeaks it and they're like money, sex, and power. I'm like, it's money, power, sex. MPS. Okay. And then Morgan Lowe, the journalist, the reporter, that's him. So he says, Lori was a beauty contestant. Anybody you spoke to who knew Lori back then said that she was like the mother of the year. Right, Ravina. The problem really seems to have started. See, now he interviewed Summer and Janice, Lori's sister and Lori's mother. And this is kind of their spin, The problem really seems to have started when Lori started following Chad, that damn Chad Daybell, right? Chad was a podcaster and author of doomsday novels. I don't think it came from the books. I think it came from the fact that Barry is probably, most likely, allegedly, supposedly, I don't know, would love to know, just because of the dog whistles he has used in the past, like being in the top 5%, 5%ers. Yeah, and saying the thing he said about Stacy whenever Stacy died, another dog whistle, right? Was that a sacrifice? Barry is kind of out there, kind of extremo, sovereign, above everything and above everybody. Well, at least 95% of us, we're dark, so to speak. So, yeah, I think that Chad was most likely a Freemason. I don't know. I really don't know, because we also didn't hear a lot from Chad Daybell's family. We heard from Heather, but luckily, but not really much else besides at his trial. I know that now this is interesting. Now, my friend, our good friend Sue Ellen, okay, if she's watching, I love you. I'm gonna be staying with her whenever I go to Arizona, and I'll be seeing Trace and whomever else. Okay, I'm down. But I'm not a very social person either, so just be patient with me. And there's going to be a lot going on, so it's not just a meet and greet. It's like, holy crap, like I'm picturing myself when my mom's testifying and Lori is freaking questioning her. I'm like, I don't think I need to be in the courtroom, because I don't know. I can picture it in my mind just going and lunging. Okay. And so And then again, I sat across from Lori about 10, 15 feet away from her. And I mean, I was screaming in my head. I was just like, how are we here? And there was that weird stare exchange that we had. And then right after that is whenever she didn't want to be in the courtroom anymore. And was it because of the photos that were being shown of JJ that day and Tylee? I don't know, because I left too. Or did she see something? I don't know, because like I said, it was a blank freaking exchange, and I didn't realize it till after, when she didn't want to be in the courtroom anymore, and me and mom flew back up there quickly, didn't illegally park, and ran there, and they shut the doors, and then, after that, I was like, oh my God, I didn't think about it all till after all that. So, anyways, either way, she needed to be in there for sure. But yeah, so it's a good little like kind of transcript, and it says what April says. Now it doesn't have anything from Chad's, but maybe I'll find and see if they have one from Chad's, even though I don't think they did. Like I don't think did Dateline do one after Chad's, which is interesting. It goes to that patriarch stuff that maybe he's in a brotherhood. I could see him wearing a stupid apron in the Brotherhood Club. Just saying. He wore one in the temple. Just saying. Just saying. So, and then that text we read earlier from Uncle Charles, he said he was a priesthood holder. I believe he went to the I have his receipts here from whenever he was in Hawaii, whenever he paid $12,000 a year, or in 6 months. He paid 12 G's in 6 months to that temple in Hawaii. I was like, good Lord, that was just for him. Lori was working in the temple on Thursdays, and it just so happened to be the day that it happened to be a Thursday when my uncle was shot and killed. There's a lot of things. So many things. I think Lori met Chad through Melanie Gibb, and they secretly communicated on the AVAL's site. Message boards could be. It really could be. Really, but Melanie Gibb just wasn't into all that. She wouldn't have watched the news. She wouldn't. Remember that when she was, Joe Schmo. I want to send you the interview and we will go over that one next. I do believe because it's pretty telling, and it pretty much pisses us all off. And it would be Sherry Dowdle. Not Sherry's. Okay, hold on. Sherry. Dowdle, Melanie Phibb. What the? Oh, y'all, I didn't mean to cuss like I did earlier. I was like, what the? I was like, okay. Oh, I typed in Phibb. Wow. Okay, here we go. I'll give you the one I have because, that was another thing. Everybody, I was trying to drive people, to get to my channel and stuff, and everybody used other things anyways. And I'm like, yeah, I have that. I have that too. Oh yeah, I have that. But then these other people used other channels to drop it, and I'm like, there was no need for all that. Let's see. And so when I'll search for mine, they don't come up right away because I'm not popular. It's difficult research, so I can't find it. But it's Sherry Dowdle. Let me look on my channel. I just kind of Googled it. YouTube. All right, I've gained 51 subscribers. Yay. That's good. 11,451. Organic. None bought here, right? Okay, so let me type this in. Let me just copy and paste it. Melanie Gibb. Just take out Sherry Dowdle. Show all. I'm not very quick on the horn here. Okay, here it is. Copy. Sorry, my lips are starting to do the dry thing where it does this. It always leaves a line right there. I don't even think I used lipstick. Oh yeah, I did it at one time. Don't use that. Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely get the same thing too, you know. But the other day when you did Melanie Gibb, 5 hours of that, I was like, I mean, I wanted to drive my head into some nails or something. It would have felt better. And I mean, it's weird because usually, I mean, I've got her shit memorized, okay? Pretty much. I've I told y'all. I told you. Well, maybe you don't know, but I've been researching this since Jump. When I found out my uncle was shot and killed, I didn't know this till years later, but I finally got into my Dropbox and saw screenshots that I had taken of some background checks that I pulled on the 13th of July. So 2 days after he was murdered, 1 day after I found out, I was pulling background checks. So I have like Tammy Daybell, not that day, but later on. I have Summer, Stacy, um, Barry, Janice. Okay. I pulled like all their Charles, Lori, I pulled all their backgrounds. And there's like phone numbers and stuff, which we should, because one of them was like, I wonder if one of them would corroborate one that Chad Daybell had gotten, if it was on that report. Oh, I pulled Emma, and I didn't know Joe. I didn't know, it was very new. It wasn't in the media, until December. So, but I started digging then, and that's what I've been doing ever since. It is pouring its ass down, y'all. It's 57 degrees. Oh wow. Oh, I just saw something. Not me. But yeah, I appreciate your dedication to to Melanie Gibb. Yeah, it was so crazy. I feel like a crazy woman when I'm like in your chat or whatever, and I'm just like, and I'm like, stop. People don't like that, But I can't help it sometimes. I'm just like, it's this, it's that. No, especially this, that was 6 years ago. So, I mean, I've been dealing with this for a long time. It's going to be in the 20s tomorrow night. That's right. Oh my God. Remember when it was a blizzard and it was 11 degrees? Remember when it blizzarded? When it was blizzarding? Is that a word? I doubt it. Let's see. I just pulled this. Oh wow. There's some old pictures of oh yeah. There's Charles with a oh, okay. So remember. Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me go. I have to share my screen a different way. Hold on. Stop screen. I'm creeping up on that 3 hours. So oh, let me fix this first. Okay, so it's gonna show my entire screen. I think. I don't know. I don't do this often. Allegedly. Woo! Right? Okay. And I just pulled this. Wait, where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, crap. Y'all, I don't do computer very well. Yeah, I know you're sharing. Where'd it go? Oh my gosh. All I did was minimize the window. There it is. Okay. So, whoa. All right. So oh yeah, this is from Barry Cox. This was, let me turn it right. Ooh. Okay. I have so many different freaking editing apps. Okay. So this was an email or something. It was in my Uncle Charles's stuff. Okay. Save. And it says and this is from like one of those, I don't know, blogs. And it says, I want my children to go cold and hungry by Chris Till. Maybe I'm peculiar, which is entirely possible, but I cherish the memories of adventures I had. Oh my gosh. Maybe I'm peculiar, which is entirely possible, but I cherish the memories of adventures I had and times I spent in awkward situations, the times spent pushing my own personal limits, times when I've often been very, very uncomfortable. And so this was from, I don't know, no date. It was like 2015 or 2016, I want to say. And so this is something Barry emailed to Charles, and Charles had printed it out, I guess. And it says, it's rare to remember a 5-star hotel, no matter how nice it is, but I will always remember the night spent sleeping in a public bathroom when a storm blew our tent away in Tent City and drenched our belongings. I will not forget spending the night freezing my tail off in 12 inches of snow in a tent deep in the mountains of Eastern Europe. And after I'd train hopped and jumped off at the wrong location. I don't get these people's dialect a lot. Okay. I vividly remember sleeping huddled to a backpack on an Indian train, huddled because if I let it go, interesting, it would be stolen in the blink of an eye. So, I mean, it's a story like this. You're more than welcome to screenshot it or do whatever, I don't want to read it all. There is a reason I cart my children to all sorts of countries and expose them to different cultures. There's a reason my wife and I homeschooled our children for many years. So I don't think it's by Chris Tell. So Barry didn't write it, but anyways, it was just one of those things he shared. And so these are some pictures of, there's Uncle Charles. My papa used to sit like that too. Oh man. So I just took pictures of pictures, right? And Uncle Charles right there. Yeah. Look at that coffee table or whatever. It's just crazy. So that would be my Aunt Terry, my cousin Daisy, Cole, Papa, and my great grandmother. Uncle Charles was really close with with my great grandmother. It was his grandmother, my great grandmother. As back in the day. There's Uncle Jerry, little pudgy. I think. Wait, and there's Aunt Natalie, and there's, I don't know. There's my mom, little one right there. That has to be Uncle Charles, I think. There's Aunt Susan, Jerry, Charles. Yeah, something like that. There's Uncle Charles. My nanny always cut everybody's heads off the pictures, so whatever, It would be one of those flash, things, and she'd be like, rah, rah, rah. We hated it. Uncle Charles back in the Gap, digging in his wallet. And this is Charles and Cherry Pie. We call her Cherry Pie. Love her and him. But you know what I'm saying. They were high school sweethearts. And before, maybe. So interesting, It's like, how many of you grew up in this time frame, with these back in the 70s, 80s type times, I guess. Those corsages, right? Yep. Catholic. There's some curtains right there. And look at that chair. Straight up retro. Uncle Charles. Uncle Charles. So when I saw this, I was like, is that Alex? And I was like, no, that's actually Uncle Charles. So, because remember how Summer Shiflett, in my opinion, put out that whole video of Alex memorial video, and it's got so many freaking pictures of Alex holding these little guns, these little pow-pows. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I see you, Summer. I see all your little symbolisms. Message received, right? In my opinion. Oh, I don't remember seeing that one. He looks different. Like, I don't know if that's him. my nanny would write on the back of all the pictures. Okay, so you knew when it was, and who it was, and this is Uncle Charles right here. I put this on there because if I shared it out, then because it's called exploitation, and people will take your pictures. But number 13. Uh-oh. I mean, this guy, look at his get up right there. I wonder if it made sounds, when he turned his head. He was a pitcher. Uncle Charles was ambidextrous. That's something that everybody knows. Kind of been keeping that hush hush, but no point now. I mean, kind of. I don't know. Don't tell the defense. I don't know if it even makes a difference, because if his DNA wasn't found on the bat anyways, it kind of is irrelevant, Ambidextrous, meaning he could pitch with his, I want to say it was his left hand, but not his right. But he didn't bat very well. He pitched, he was a boss pitcher, I mean, they signed him on with, oh my God, I'm forgetting, Astros. And he was, oh my gosh, I went blank. It'll come back. I can't think of the words. Yeah, look how cute. And there's one of the buses. Okay. We used to go clean these suckers. Okay. They're a lot to clean every damn week, and sometimes twice a week or more. This is my parents' company. They sold it. I remember my mom standing in the kitchen cooking some fried eggs at night. Or no, it was morning. It was morning. And she was like, "Oh, I can't wait." She was like, "Oh, we're going to retire, and then I can finally be a real momo," or something like that. It was something like that. And then all this stuff happened, and they sold the company and everything, all in the midst of all this. I remember some people accusing my mom of buying houses and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, well, they did sell their fucking company. Okay. So there's that. Anyways, but whatever. It's not my business. It's everybody. I don't stick my nose in other people's business, Oh, that's something I made for my dad. I found this old magazine, and he loves these Mercury Cougars. Okay. And so I found it and I framed it. Anyways, nothing fancy. But yeah. So, oh yeah. Let me tell you. That was that app that would change your hair. This is interesting. This is, I found this in my Uncle Charles's stuff too. And it says, "Lori and Charles, you two are awesome with all you are going through, and you are helping us. We love you so much and are so grateful for your support. I know the Lord will bless you. He is blessing us. I can't wait till we all can live. I can't wait till we all can live next to each other. If there is anything I can do to help you, just ask. Love, Adam, Nicole, Zach, and Gilly." So that was from Adam. I don't know when it was from, but that was in there. And there's also one that Zach wrote to Uncle Charles that was crumpled up and looked like it had been ripped. It wasn't ripped though. And I was thinking maybe Lori might have crumbled it up whenever she went and packed up Uncle Charles's house after he was shot and killed. But, I don't know. I'll never know. Oh, that's a video. Remember this? Remember that time they were going to the airport in Hawaii? Oh, look how cute. There's Melanie Pulowski right there. One of the children she rated dark right here. And Janice. That's at Colby's wedding in Uncle Charles. Yeah. Poor baby. Some babies, man. They just didn't stand a chance, So anyways, all right. Well, enough of the reminiscing. Enough of that. But anyways, hey MB, how are you doing? Well, support. I have to wonder, was the support financial because the Cox had him paying for everything? They could like all their phone plan. Yeah. I'll show you before we leave. Let me go grab it. Look, my eyes are going crazy because. Oh, okay, it's red too. Okay. I'm like, what tab? Let me look it up. Janice. I just don't know how they spelled her name. It's either Janis or Janice. Present. We're gonna look at that real quick. What Janice said. Come on. Let me do that instead. Oh God, there's gonna be so many of those. Let me look under Alex. Because Janice wrote Alex. What? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, let me just, while we're right here, right? So this is whenever Charles showed up at Lori's that morning. So on 7/10/2019, Adam Cox flew to Arizona to try and arrange a family meeting with Lori. Adam's flight was booked by Charles. A text sent to Adam from Charles on 7/9, which is when Chad Daybell did his podcast and when Melanie Gibbs spent the night with Laura Hoare. On 7/9/2019, read as follows: Your flights are booked. This is Charles. Sent to Adam from Charles. Okay. Your flights are booked. You should have the emails. I'm really uneasy about how she will respond not only to you, but to me. And I guess Zach and Brandon. I'll pick up JJ and take him to school at 8 a.m. Thursday. That's the plan, right? She'll be there. Friday the same. She will be highly suspicious about recording. If you can, bring a second device. Oh God, please have a second device. He had all kinds of devices he paid for. Oh my God, please have a device. I just want the prosecution to be like, slam, you know? That's just my wishful thinking though. Try to keep my expectations low. Okay. If you can bring a second device and put your phone on the counter or turn it off, it might help. Just a brother talking to his sister. I personally feel she's too far gone. It is going to take us going to Holmes, which is the state president, or she won't ever stop. She's hurting too many families. Mine is gone, Adam. I just want to save others from the same fate. I still love her more than life. But the slots we knew. Oh, I guess, but the Lori we knew is gone. Or maybe he meant sluts. I'm just picking. Okay. Some people get it. I fear forever. So he believes she's gone. I fear forever. And then he was going to, oh, whoa. Adam and Charles continued to communicate via text on, yo, I can't read today. Okay, so then on 7/9/2019, Adam told Charles that he was going to go see Lori at her house and have a talk with her. He told Charles that he was going to keep his phone on record. Adam indicated that they needed proof for, I don't know, affair maybe? I don't know. Or for one of the stake presidents or one of the bishops or somebody, I believe. It is believed that, and it's going to be Holmes, was a church official that would be able to revoke Lori's temple recommend. Charles told Adam that Lori would probably leave, but it was worth a try. Adam also indicated that they would have a family dinner for everyone. Charles then stated, quote, got it, but honestly, if you, Zach, Brandon, and me go to him, that should be enough. She will feel like we ambushed her. Oh my God, that's what happened, in my opinion, to him. But something has to be done. She'll be real careful what she says. See, I mean, he's already tried to have her served. She didn't go to some preparing of people things because, she didn't want to be served. That's another reason she didn't go to the temple. It wasn't just because she thought she was freaking exalted. She all about the temple. She went after that. Anyways. Okay. Charles arrived in Phoenix on 7/10/2019. He stayed at a hotel that Lori rented for him. In a text sent by Charles to Lori, he asked if the hotel room was already paid for, and she informed him that it was. Charles then responded, quote, thanks, I'll see him tomorrow. I'll take him to school and pick him up Friday too. Thanks. Unquote. On 7/11/2019, Charles went to Lori's residence in Chandler, the one he rented for $4,500 a damn month. Okay. And so she could be closer to her family, who ostracized him. And in my opinion, I don't think that Janice and Summer for sure have not showed any kind of nothing about Charles. It's only the kids. At 07:34 hours, Charles' phone showed just west of 5531 South Four Peaks Place. Between 7:35 hours and 7:37 hours, the following text string was located between Charles Vallow and Adam Cox. Charles, Al is here. Adam. At Lori's? Adam. Really? I wonder why he never called me back. Adam. They are planning something. Charles. Absolutely. Adam. I was supposed to spend the night at his house last night. She probably blocked that. Charles. What you do is up to you. This was the last message read by Charles at 07:37 hours. Adam would send the following message at 07:37 hours, but it was not read until 12:13 hours when Charles was dead and Lori was in control of his phone. So let's think about that. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 5 hours later, you know. Adam said, I'm going to put the pressure to have him come get me right now. See what he says. Adam says, okay. And then there were no further messages from Charles. Adam would send Charles the following message at 07:49 hours. Quote, me and Zach are going to the Stake Center tonight at 8 to play basketball. Holmes is always there, either playing ball or interviewing people. I will try to catch him to have a conversation with my old friend. So they're friends, unquote. I'm sorry, unquote before that. The message was read at 12:13 hours. Lori was in control of Charles's phone at this time, at the time the message was read. In reviewing the data on Charles's phone, I noticed that he left his location services on. I did too after this murder occurred. I was like flipping them all on. Okay. Looking at his GPS coordinates, his phone arrived at 5531 South Four Peaks Place at 7:37 hours. The phone left the residence at 07:49 hours. So we know he got there around 7:37, and then Lori's leaving with the kids, 7:49. Charles was at Lori's residence for just over 10 minutes. After hearing a shot fired, Lori drove to Burger King, located on the southwest corner of Gilbert and, O Road. The phone arrived at this location at 7:55 hours. Lori then took JJ to school. She arrived home at 08:48 hours. The 911 call was placed by Alex at 08:32 hours. Okay, that's a long time. That's a long time to be laying there dying or dead. According to Lori's testimony, Charles would have laid dead for 43 minutes before Alex called the police. So that's interesting. You know, that's not going to look good for Lori and her co-defendant, her dead one. I feel no remorse when it comes to Alex. I don't. I just don't. Like, I understand they grieve him, but they have not said one nice word, even about my uncle. They have not expressed anything in interviews or East Idaho news extravaganzas, whatever, Crime Con and all the things, you know. But I'm telling you now, there's going to be a following after these people. So it wouldn't shock me if Summer didn't establish some kind of grandstand for her to stand on, and people will be there. Okay? Because this is how this shit goes. I don't know what it is. But anyways, yeah. It seemed as if Melanie, blank Alex Cox, and Melanie would reach. Okay. Yeah. Another thing too, we'll go over that next time too. I'm just trying to find that damn thing of Janice that she wrote here. Okay. On March 2nd, 2019, there was a forwarded text from Alex Cox to Lori Vallow that appeared to be from their mother. It read as follows. March 2nd, 2019. Love you too, Al. I do realize all of that. Realize this. Lori canceled his trip home. His truck, I guess his truck I guess took his truck, took all of his clothes, and drained the bank account. So she's corroborating that. If I was Charles, I would be upset and do hurtful things. So would you. Also, even if Charles cheated with hookers, your dad and I cannot ever judge. Charles has never done anything but support me and love me. I love Lori with all my heart. I will help her in any way I can. But because I have been talking to Charles with the Spirit guiding me, even if he doesn't have the Spirit, that's what stands out to me. Because in my opinion and from my experience, this is the passive aggressive thing that we see with all these criminals and their families, okay? That to me is like, he's dark. He's a zombie. He doesn't have the Spirit. She has a Spirit because I have been talking to Charles with the Spirit guiding me. Even if he doesn't have the Spirit, how would she know that? It has led him not to go through with a divorce and decided to turn on all the cell phones and put them back in Lori's name. That means he cut all their shit back on. And move out of the house and is going to pay for Lori to move back in. No strings attached. So if that happens, just know the Lord works in mysterious ways. Sometimes things that look black and white are actually gray. I love you. I would love to talk to Lori, but I haven't heard from her. I know I'm led by the Spirit in my actions. Seconds later, Alex sent another text to Lori that read, Ned just came by, entirely unleashed on him. He came to my house and he went to Summers first. He ran up in a rental car. No response from Lori was observed. And then, he goes on and on. But yeah, so to me, I'm calling bullshit. Okay. I mean, you just got to know their lingo and then you can figure it out, What do y'all think? What do you think? It's very passive aggressive. It's like, oh, as long as he turns on all the things and all the surface things, it's nothing like, oh, he was a good son-in-law. He, had a good heart. He loved his kid. Nothing like that. She knew he was, in my opinion, it looked like she knew that he didn't have the quote unquote Spirit, meaning the Holy Spirit's not going to accompany someone named Ned or with a dark soul. Okay, that was doomed, marked. So, yeah. I wish I could find, oh my God, everybody pray. Pray that Kresha finds the testimony that my uncle wrote, and it was called, I Had Not Yet Met a Mormon. I brought it to my Aunt Susan's, and then I think I left it there, and I don't know. I would love to read that as a victim impact statement from Charles. And how he loved the family, how they treated him well. And he was just so surprised because people didn't drink alcohol. He came from a Catholic family. Jumped right into a Mormon one. I'm like, what the hell? How just, and then every paragraph he'd say, I had not yet met a Mormon. And he would say something else. And then I had not yet met a Mormon. And I'm like, you sure in the hell have not. You had not yet met the Mormon Mafia. Just saying. Anyways. Yeah. You're right. You are absolutely, yes. Accountability falls on those making those choices. Absolutely. Yep. I just, I research all the things that factor into that. And just, it's like when you are profiling a killer, you want to know what all goes into that recipe to create this disaster, so to speak. And it's like, how many killers can be lined up and aligned, whatever, in one place? That's pretty concentrated death pot, Oof, crap. Nobody was safe. Chad was, according to Heather Daybell, Chad was going to the meeting houses, the one where he was, he was a ward clerk, an executive secretary, and he was at the meeting house. Was he writing? Or, I'm sorry, Or was he sacrificing damn black cats or any cats or dogs? He didn't like dogs. So I'm just saying, I just my mind, I question everything. Everything's always on the table, you know? So, but anyways, all right, guys, 3 hours and 14 minutes. All right. I overdid it. All right. I went big. So, all right. Next time we will go over Sherry Doubt. Did I even put that in the damn? I don't know if I did. No, that's my studio one. God dang it, Joe. Hold on. I think I pulled it up. I gave the studio one. Hold on. Oh, yeah, here it is. Let me grab this link, and it's this entire call, raw, uncut, of Melanie Gibb telling all to Sherry Dowdle. This was in January of 2020. In my opinion, this is when Melanie Gibb was practicing her alibi, in my opinion. But anyways, justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Love always wins. You guys are proof of that. I'll see you. I'll schedule again Thursday. I don't know. I'll make sure Colby's not on. Maybe earlier in the day. I don't know. But we'll go over the Sherry Dowdle, Melanie Gibb, Melanie Phibbs. Love you guys. See you next time.